What's going on, everyone? It's Nina Infinity. Welcome to my channel on this Wednesday. This is Infinite Talk, and I have here with me my amazing co-host, John Talks. Hi, John. Hello.
Hello, Nina. How are you doing? How's everybody doing? We're doing good?
I'm okay. I'm
okay?
okay. Yeah, I had to edit the Snow White review last night, and it took so long that I was like, I'm just going to release it today. And just watching that movie was bad for my mental health. And then I had to do the review. And then, you know, when you edit and you have to just keep looking at things over, I know, because you just edit all the time.
Yeah.
And it's just, her face and just everything that I hate about that movie was just in my brain for way too long. So I'm just drained. I'm actually mentally drained, but I'm here to talk about Rachel Zegler even more. How exciting is that?
No, I know exactly what you're talking about, especially doing longer form videos. It's people, unless you've done it, unless you've been there, you don't know. You don't know what it's like. Okay. You don't have a clue. I mean, it's not that bad, but I mean, it's, there's worse things you could be doing, of course, but it's work.
It's straining. It's definitely straining. Speaking of doing a lot of work, Script Doctor is also here. Hi, Script Doctor.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Yes, editing is hard.
The hand move? Did I ever see that hand move before? Or my I don't think I've ever seen it move.
No, sometimes you catch it, sometimes you don't.
Okay. Wow.
He just did this too. Look at that. He's like,
yeah. But I know all about editing. I've had to be in rooms where
John was like, "Wait, what? What is happening?" Oh
what
my god!
Incarnation?
Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Script Doctor, you're doing okay, is what I heard.
Yeah, well, it's work is picking up because Hollywood's correcting itself, and so people are actually getting back to my calls or calling me or emailing me, and they're slow and steady, and it's a good sign. And I'm happy to have the busyness here. Awesome. And for editing, I know all about it. I've been in editing suites where it takes 2-3 hours just to do 5 minutes, and that's of feature film footage. So. And that 5 minutes might not even be the same by the end of the entire process. So yeah, it's a long, arduous task.
It really is. And hi, Steek. We also have Steek here.
Hi. Long time no see.
I know, it's been so long. Steeg is the master of puns, and he was just going off in the back, just punning away. And I was like, we just got to go live because I feel like everyone's missing out on all the punny. And so we did.
All the punishment. Well, you know what just struck me, though? I was probably here when you started the channel. Probably one of your first panelists. I think so.
I think so. I think you were I don't know if you were the first, but you were one of the first.
Yeah, I'm OG.
When he came on. Yeah, you are OG.
I still don't know how to edit stuff. I've never had the need to edit videos, so I don't know how to do it.
So you don't know.
Well, you've seen those stupid top fives that there's no editing involved.
His top five didn't need. It was actually better that they weren't edited.
Yeah, your top fives were amazing. Do you still have those? Do you still have that up?
It's set to private, I think.
Oh, okay.
I think my Hulk and my Indiana Jones one is up there, though.
Well, maybe we can pull one up later. So that
don't have to. Really don't have to. It's
at least one.
No.
I think we should. Maybe? For old time's sake, so that the new people in the chat, they don't know what they've missed. I feel like
play it again, Stig. Play it again.
Encore.
Yeah. It's really top-notch stuff. It's like Indiana Jones.
It was pretty funny though.
It was funny.
I think the chat would like it. We would like it. I do too.
But there's a lot has happened in the past couple of days. Obviously, Snow White came out and bombed, and there's other things that have happened, like the MCU, I guess, had a huge announcement today about the the state of the Avengers, and I guess everybody's coming back, like pretty much.
You
We're
know,
gonna talk about that.
the Snow White movie, I'd like to defend it a little bit because it has unified the whole audience because everyone agreed that she should have eaten the whole damn apple. So,
Yeah, most people were Team Apple.
yeah, everyone were pro veganism at the time.
What's up, Hypnotic? How you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Chris
What's up,
Cran is here for
Chris?
$2. Says, awesome, John and Nina live stream. Hi. Yeah, it's the classics.
Good to
Guess
see you,
who's
bro.
back again. I'm not gonna do Eminem right now. No, it's not happening. There was also open AI updates, and AI is taking over the world. So we're gonna talk about all that. But we don't know which one we're gonna talk about first. So Stieg, you got your die?
Oh, how many articles are there?
I mean, there's like, well, actually 4 because there's also Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds updates. So there's 4 things that we can talk about.
All right, so we need a D4. Then.
I'll roll a D4. 1.
What's 1? We
picks the
didn't
article.
assign anything.
I guess the first
Article-
the first article.
Number 1 from the top, I guess.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
think
know.
so.
So that's Snow White, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So Snow White.
So we need to roll another die for who reads. That's a D3.
That's because I'm out on this one. I'm out. So John and Scrib. So that's 2.
All right, I could just
John.
all right.
The die has decided.
Yeah. There's no choice, man.
There's he's
Okay,
already
hold on.
got a dice with our name on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
It says it's chosen for you. It's literally chosen for you.
Wow. All right. Snow White. I hate all the pop-ups. I hate it. Snow White star Rachel Zegler social media was vetted by Disney after anti-Trump post report. Controversy surrounding Disney's flop remake of Snow White have exploded in recent weeks. However, a new report claims outspoken star Rachel Zegler's social media posts have roiled the House of Mouse internally for months. After Zegler fired off a series of missives that disparaged President Donald Trump, the studio went so far as to hire a social media guru to closely scrutinize her online activity, according to Variety. In November 2024, 3 months after the 23-year-old actress was criticized for commenting and always remember Free Palestine on a trailer for her PG-rated family movie, she piled on, posting, "Fuck Donald Trump," and made Trump supporters and Trump voters, maybe I should say it in her voice, made Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself never know peace. I don't know if that's how she would sound, but that's how I would imagine.
Zegler.
Yeah, but she is terrible.
I don't.
You have to go a little bit more Valley Girl, at least. Like, may the never know peace.
But she's from the Northeast. Like, you got to go whatever that version is.
That's true. Just give her never mind. That's actually going to be racist. If I was going to give her a Latina accent.
May they
that
never.
Trump, that Trump, he loco, okay?
I was going to roll my tongue, but.
Oh no.
May they never know no peace. Disney did not want to alienate 49.8% of Americans who voted for Trump that month from seeing its $270 million movie. So it reportedly enlisted an overseer for Zegler. After a back and forth, she began working on a social media guru paid for by Disney to vet any posts before the film's March 21st bow.
I wonder how much that cost. Like, does that add to the cost of the movie? Like, that,
Oh,
And
it has
you
to,
know,
right?
not
Yeah,
just
but it's
that,
pretty small.
she's 23 years old, and they have to pay for a nanny for her.
yeah, a social media nanny. Why can't they just take her
Yeah.
accounts away? Just be like, you're just not allowed to post anything. Just stop it.
Just take her
Taking
phone
your
Remove
and
the
phone.
just
fingers.
smash it with a hammer.
Remove the fingers.
Wow, that's
That's
violent.
pretty extreme.
Yeah, you
Yes,
can't
That's
do
but
like
that.
a mafia tactic.
They're not. They
No,
don't live in like Saudi Arabia, bro. They. It's still a
no,
state.
but I'm in Norway, so I'm supposed to be a bit Viking-ish.
That's true.
Besides, she's a singer. She doesn't need her fingers anyways.
It's true.
No.
It's also true.
Yeah.
Also true.
Off with
Plus,
her
you
But
head.
said-
actually, wait. I'm gonna take that back because all women need their finger. Just saying.
I don't know. She's quite ham-fisted in her approach, though. So shouldn't bother her much.
Keep going, John.
The Worried Studio also implored the West Side Story star to take down her Palestine posts. Producer Mark Platt, who produced last year's Wicked, allegedly flew from Los Angeles to New York to appeal to her while she was appearing in Romeo and Juliet on Broadway. But the actress stood her ground, Variety said. She didn't understand the repercussions of her actions as far as what that meant for the film. For Gal Gadot, for anyone, a source told the trade. Gadot, 39, began to receive death threats. The outlet additionally claimed, adding that Disney was forced to hire security for the Israeli Wonder Woman actress who plays the evil queen.
I
The
feel like
post is
that's a
reached
little
out to
bit
Disney.
excessive though, because she was like in the IDF. I think she could probably handle herself if anything came up.
What?
You know,
Like-
being in the IDF
that's-
doesn't mean that you are like one woman wrecking crew. I mean,
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. She's like
she's
a girl boss.
She's not Wonder Woman in real life, Nina.
No, she's
She-
wonder if she is a woman sometimes, you know.
She probably knows Krav Maga. She probably can like do things like
No.
the security detail can't do.
No.
Nope. You know what
Probably.
it is? It's the same as in Norway. You have mandatory army service for 12 months, and you get stationed somewhere. And she was basically, she did boot camp, and then she was a gym teacher for the rest of the service.
She was
I'm-
a
That's
champion.
what I'm saying. Like she
Yeah,
probably didn't even really
yeah.
do anything serious in the military.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's actually what she did. She was a
Like the
fitness
Italians.
instructor.
Yeah.
That's
a gym
So
teacher.
hilarious. That's hilarious.
But ironically, if they hired someone to defend her, that would literally be Disney making use of an Israeli defense thing, which means the Free Palestine should be pissed off about the signaling, shouldn't they?
Well, the other part too is that regardless of what Rachel Zegler would say, Gal would already be getting those threats anyways because she
Agreed.
is really.
Yeah. Agreed. Actually, I was gonna say most of the if anyone's gonna do boycott, like the boycott Israel thing is way bigger than whatever Rachel Zegler said about Palestine. There she is in the
Yeah.
IDF. Look, she got a gun. She know how to use that.
No, she's a model. Also, she's holding the magazine.
Yeah.
I tried to help her. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. In a recent review for the Post, I wrote the 1937 cartoon classic has been turned into another pointless and awkward live-action automaton that vanishes from your mind the second it's over, just like that, gone.
Yeah, I wish that was the case for me, but I had to edit that video, so it's like permanently stuck in there now. I really wish the technology for that Will Smith thing, like the Men in Black thing,
thinking
was there
about
right now, so I could just flash that shit out of my brain. It'd be really nice.
Slap it out like you did with Chris Rock. Just
Exactly.
that's when he proved to everyone that paper beats rock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
Although Snow White debuted as #1 at the domestic box office, the film grossed just $87 million worldwide, a paltry amount for a movie so expensive.
They kept talking about how it's like the #1 movie in the world. I feel like that's a bit of a cope. I don't think that's really happening.
No, it is.
It
It's
is.
the only thing they've got. I mean, the other part too is Hollywood mentality is not so much did you make the most money, it's did you get #1 and how long were you able to stay as #1? Because it's all about reputation. And basically they opened at #1. They'll probably be at #1 for maybe one more week, and then something new will take it over. And Disney won't even care at that point because they'll be able to say when they debuted, they were #1 at the box office.
I mean, there's literally no competition this week. There was nothing.
Zero.
Robert De Niro had a movie that bombed. A lot of anti-Trump movies bombing. Oh yeah.
What movie was he in?
It wasn't marketed, but it's bombed.
Some sort of
that's how bad it is. You didn't even hear about it.
I didn't even know. I did hear it. Well, I mean, I saw that Robert De Niro has a new series on Netflix where I think he plays the president, and I was like, I'm not watching this.
Anybody want to see that?
No, nobody wants to see that.
Alto Nights. Alto Nights. That's the name of the movie.
Alto Nights. I've never heard this before.
Box office disaster. Here, I'll share.
Please share your screen. What is it about? I've never even heard of this movie.
I don't know because I ain't either. Oh, Bobby. Bobby's got a bomb on his hands. Bobby's got a bomb. Why Robert De Niro's mob drama Alto Nights is such a box office disaster.
Oof.
Oh, it's because of him.
He's definitely
That's
not helping
why.
anything. He's not helping anything.
Yeah.
No, it's too bad. Too bad for Bobby.
Oh my God. Well, to the topic though, like on topic of Snow White, there was also this bit which I thought was interesting. So this dude is some nepo baby, Donut Platt. He responds. He reposts that his dad, Mark Platt, traveled to New York to convince Rachel Zegler to delete her Free Palestine tweet. My dad had to leave his family. Okay, we're gonna read this. So he said, "You really want to do this?" Okay, so this guy said, "Your dad flew to NYC to reprimand a young actress. Any words on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No, shame on your father." So this guy replied, "You really want to do this? Yeah, my dad, the producer of an enormous piece of Disney IP with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting a movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for." That is a huge run-on sentence, man. Like,
and I don't think she got multiple millions. I think she got like 1.2, and then she'll see like 30% of that at the end of the day.
But also, like, the way he says, like, my daddy had to leave a family and go. I'm like, bro, like your dad probably has never been to like other than a Christmas dinner. You probably don't see him because he's working all the time. Like the way he's like, he's leaving us behind to go and talk to Rachel Zegler. Like,
well, Johnny's like 40, so I don't even think he shouldn't be living at home anymore.
Like what is that? Like, leaving his family. Fucking smallest violin, bro. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Actually, it kind of does, doesn't it? Isn't that a whole
no, the employment can't respond.
No.
You can't say it.
Well,
that's true.
Not if you're promoting the product officially.
Yeah,
because then you're there as an employee to sell a product.
That's true. You're right.
And her press junket continues so long as the movie's in theaters, and once it leaves theaters, then she might have a stipulation for streaming and physical media. But once it hits those ports, then her contract is over, and she can say whatever she wants.
Right. It's also because she was like at a Disney event when she said that. So I think that you're right.
That's also a problem. Yeah. Because you're paid as a representative, which means that while you're a representative, you can say whatever you want, but it has to be within the purview of the company because you're being paid pretty much as long as you're awake to talk positively about the product that you have and things that would get people excited for the product. What you do in the home of what you do in your privacy of your home with, people that are not going to be sharing that information with the public is perfectly acceptable because that's, your personal time. You have that right.
Yeah,
So he goes on.
basically,
sorry. Go ahead.
she can say whatever she wants on her private Twitter, but as soon as she is in any official capacity promoting the product, then she is currently at work.
Well, she also said it on Twitter, but she also said it like at an event. I think that's the issue.
The event bit is the issue. Saying it on Twitter, I don't think is illegal or whatever.
The event is an issue for sure.
And the only reason this is a controversy is because Disney is on the other side of the argument. If they're on the same side as her, this would not be a problem, even though it'd still be a problem for the other 49.8% of the population or 51%, whatever you say.
That's why they're not going after Gal that hard, because it's like I said, the boycott Israel thing is a big deal, but they're not going to go and be like, well, like, people are boycotting the movie because they don't want to support her, but that doesn't matter because they're not going to comment on that, right? Here we go. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film. Damn, that's a lot of people. Tens of thousands.
He's being very hyperbolic in this.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Like, wow.
Probably over 1,000, I would imagine.
I mean, what is it, like AC Shadows or whatever? Because did you guys see that Assassin's Creed thing for 2 hours? The credits were like rolling of people who were involved. I was like, Jesus. So tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation of her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depended on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged. But what's funny is, like, why is he? I mean, like, he cares so much about this and the cast and the crew and stuff, but they couldn't hire little people. Like, where's his passion for the little people that were discarded for CGI?
What about the little people? Think about the little people.
That's
you gotta blame Peter Dinklage for that.
But we can also blame Disney because they wanted to go so woke that they went like uber woke, and then they like out woked themselves to a point where it was a problem.
Yeah, it's like they fell short.
So this guy got kind of hounded by Rachel Zegler fans, which was kind of funny. Here is some of the replies that he received. Shout out to Stephanie Minority Home. Says he's being harassed now. So let's read some of these. So he said that, and then these people were like, here we go. Your daddy or your father's failures on Rachel is just such a sad take. Was it her fault that dear Evan Hansen sucked too? She was at the best part of the film from the small clips that I've seen. I find it interesting that you don't blame Gal for her failure, considering many companies are being boycotted successfully due to their links with Israel and seeing a loss in revenue. It's almost like that's happening to this movie. And it's Disney's fault for hiring her, not for her military background, but for her lack of talent. I guess you share that in common. Ouch.
There's some truth to that, because aside from the first Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, who has led a few movies, has never actually broken box office or even broken the general narrative of conversation. This is actually like the first movie she's done that people are talking about her that isn't Wonder Woman related, because she's worked with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds. She's worked with John Hamm. She's worked with a whole bunch of people, and nobody remembers those performances because, I'm sorry, as pretty of a face Gal Gadot has, she's not a good actress.
Well, and also that movie sucked. I watched that movie with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
They made a sequel to it.
Shut up. Really?
They did.
Why? Nobody watched it.
Because it was Netflix.
Yeah, Netflix does do that.
You know what was weird though with the Wonder Woman? They were like, yeah, we're gonna train this girl harder than every other Amazon, and then she turns out to be the skinniest of them. I mean, she's so skinny, she if she eats 10 pieces, she's going to look like an abacus, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they had to actually give her a fake bustier because she was so skinny she couldn't develop like a normal woman. They had to put her back in the oven because she wasn't done yet.
Wait, what's going on with John? John, are you
my
there?
I think my camera's messed up a little bit, but
okay.
yeah.
Well, you can be off camera if you don't. If it's fine. Okay, here's my other point of view on this. We're gonna read this other one too, but I also think this. Tell me what you guys think of this. Wait, are you still there, John? Because you disappear altogether.
I'm here. Yeah,
Ooh, he's invisible. That's
He's
a
like,
trick I need to learn.
I know, that's cool. I don't know how you're doing that, but that's
I don't
cool.
know how I am either.
The weird part is I can see
Strider.
you backstage. Like
See,
I can actually
I can only leave the room. I can't actually like vanish.
there you go. But the funny part is I can see you backstage, John, but I can't.
All right, I'll be
see you
back.
on this stream.
I'll be back.
So, and you guys can tell me what you think of this, but I think I think the top of the reason, like the bottom line of why this movie is failing is because it's ass. Like I actually think it has a lot to do with the fact that this movie is just terrible. Because I think if it was actually good, a lot of people would just be like, well, it's actually good. Like, especially like YouTubers, like people like me who actually watch the damn thing would be like, well, it's a very, shot for shot adaptation of Snow White. It's good. It stays true to the story. Go see it. People would go, right? Because they're desperate to take their kids to anything. But you have a really shitty movie. And before this whole Palestinian thing happened, or whether Gal's Israel situation was a thing, before that happened, Rachel was giving interviews that pissed off actual Disney fans. And that was the whole thing about her saying that the prince is a stalker and the whole
Gal said that too.
Weird. Yes, they both did.
Yep.
And I think the reason they both did was because they was told to them by Disney to say that. To be like, oh, this is made for a modern audience. The old one sucks. We're making it new and blah, blah, blah.
How does the magic kiss dislodge a piece of apple stuck in a girl's throat? Especially if it's not a French kiss.
Well, maybe it was an Adam's apple.
Mm.
Oh, damn, Steve.
I'm glad you took it that way.
Jesus. But that's the thing. I think the issue is that those were the comments that actually pissed off a lot of people that were like, oh, we're actually not going to support this movie. Because a lot of the classic Disney fans were like, fuck you both for dissing the old movie.
Oh,
then
not
the
just
whole
that, though. There's more. I mean, the Snow White story is an old European, fairy tale.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of cultural and, in some sense, historical fandom there as well that felt like they got shat on, right?
That's true because of the casting.
That was also a little bit true when the original animation came out because they changed the ending of Snow White for the Disney cartoon compared to the Brothers Grimm archive tale and the tale in Europe. Plus, Snow White's in 2 stories that I know of, where she has a sister named Rose Red and marries a guy who was a bear for several years.
Wait, what? I don't think I've ever read this version. What?
Did you say Mary's a bear?
There's a guy who is cursed to be a bear, and then Snow White and her sister Rose Red basically stopped this evil dwarf who had been looking for treasure, and in doing so, it released the curse off the bear, so he became a handsome young man, and then he had a brother, and those 2 brothers married Snow White and Rose Red.
So the marriage became bearable.
Exactly.
Yeah, that sounds about. Wait, is that the Brothers Grimm version? Because I don't remember that.
One of them. There's 2 Snow White stories. One where she's an only child and her evil stepmother is trying to kill her, and then the other one where she doesn't have a father, she lives with her mother in a cabin. It's her and her sister Rose Red.
Oh, I've only read the other one, like the first one.
That's interesting. You got to check out some of those Brother Grimm's fairy tales. Some of them are very dark, some of them are very funny, and then some of them are good lessons learned.
The dark ones are crazy. I mean, even Cinderella, like the original one, it's like when they break
stepsisters cut their feet shreds to fit in the glass slipper.
Yeah, I mean it's freaking brutal. But yeah, John, I was just saying, like, I think a lot of this has to do with way more to do with like their original comments that Disney made them say, which was, we're updating this for the modern audience versus their political takes, which I don't think really quite affects the box office as much as they say, and also the fact that the movie's shit. Like, it's just complete garbage. If it was good, people would still go, even if they had said shitty things. They'd be like, well, actors are dumb and they're gonna say shitty things. But if the movie's good and it's going to entertain me, I'm going to go and I'm going to take my kid. Like, it's just the way I think that's usually the way that people think. I mean, especially people on the right, like the like Trumpers or Republicans, whatever you want to call them. They all think like actors are shit, and they don't take what actors say very, you know what I'm saying? Like they
with
don't
rare
really
exceptions.
care.
Yeah, with rare exceptions, actors are by and large borderline retarded.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's the thing though that I think something is happening where, and we'll see, we'll find out. But I do think that society at large is just becoming like everything's just getting more politicized, and I think everybody. I wouldn't say everybody, obviously, but like more and more people are becoming a little bit more radical with their political views. And I think they are willing to say, you know what, screw you. I'm not spending my money on your terrible movie because you said things about Donald Trump and you said things about me, said that I should never know peace. Okay, Rachel.
True.
Yeah, that's pretty strong stuff. It's not that she just endorsed like Kamala Harris, but it was that she really wished ill on Trump and people that voted for him. And that it's one thing to endorse a candidate like Taylor Swift. She can endorse Kamala Harris, but that's, I'm whatever. That's your deal, your prerogative. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. Rachel Zegler can do whatever she wants. But when you start wishing ill on people that voted for a candidate, now you are in a different camp. You're in a different party yourself. And it didn't go so well for her. And I do think that she paid a big price for that. Had she only endorsed Kamala Harris, that would have been one thing. But the fact that she really made it personal with Trump supporters, not a good idea.
That's a good point. I didn't really think about it like that.
You know what I noticed? The Snow White movie finished shooting quite a while ago, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at Zegler's IMDb page, she has no upcoming project. Gal Gadot has like 4 or 6.
Let's check
Zegler
it
has
out.
nothing, and she would have had time to get new projects after shooting Snow White, because it's been probably 6 months or something since or maybe even.
It's been a while.
Well, she was doing Broadway for I think a year because she did the Romeo and Juliet thing.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
there's no upcoming on-screen projects as far as I could see.
There's also not many musicals in the work because that's basically what everything that she's been in, aside from I think the Hunger Games. Was a musical. Yeah.
How did Hunger Games do?
Flopped.
Did it flop?
Yeah, it did flop. I mean, she was also in that Y2K movie, but that was terrible.
Oh,
not
dude, that
because of
flopped.
her. That was terrible because the writer-director is an SNL alumni.
Yeah, she was also in Shazam, which I also think flopped.
Yeah, she has only had flops, but look, no upcoming stuff on her.
That's true.
If you look at Gal Gadot, she has several upcoming projects.
Ooh.
West Side Story probably did. Did it
West
do
Side Story
okay?
did okay, yeah.
Okay.
Did it? I don't remember.
Yeah. In the Heights did better, but West Side Story did all right.
That's how she was found, like on
well,
West
that's
Side
the
Story.
breakout role, yeah.
Yeah, her breakout role was Steven Spielberg. I can't believe Steven Spielberg came back to make that.
That was his
what the
passion
fuck is
project.
this?
He's been wanting to make since he began as a filmmaker.
Just stop it, Steven Spielberg, and give us another ET or some shit. I got what's it called?
Another alien movie.
Yeah, like another alien movie.
Time.
Something good.
Pass.
This is why I can't even figure out the other guy, James Cameron. Like him and his weird obsession with freaking Avatar. It's like fucking let it go, bro.
Well,
Do we have another movie?
the thing is that the Hollywood institution has pushed away and just torn down so many potentially good filmmakers that there's no one there to pick up the bag right now. It's been institutionalized by the very people that revolutionized it. Like Steven Spielberg is the most powerful director in Hollywood. He can make whatever he wants. It's only based on whether he wants to or not. And there's nobody, and anyone that was ever said that they were going to be the next Spielberg, well, they were said that by the media, and then Spielberg said, nobody's going to be the next me. And that's why, M. Night Shyamalan kind of is in his little pocket, part of the independent industry.
That guy sucks.
I mean, he did make what really the film that killed him was Lady Under the Was it Lady
in the Water or The Happening? One of those two.
No, it was Avatar.
The Happening.
It was Avatar, the live action.
Well, it was a succession of like not so great films. Everything up to The Village did pretty good, I think, at the box office.
I've heard he's got a really good series. Have you guys seen his new series?
No.
Mm-mm.
I've heard it's really good. Like people actually have been telling me like to watch it, and I was like, I hate this dude. I don't know if I want to watch this movie, or his show. But here's Gal. She also doesn't seem like she's got. There we go. Upcoming. She got The Runner, which is in pre-production, and The Hand of Dante, which is in post, and Irina Sendler. What the hell's that?
No idea.
Oh my God, Cleopatra. She's still doing that? I thought that was canceled.
It's in development hell, and it's probably going to stay there for a while.
That's what it sounds like, because this is definitely, totally fell off the radar after that whole announcement.
Yeah, but when you look at her track record, she's got a lot of poorly critically received, poorly financially received movies, more than Rachel Zegler.
Yeah,
Wonder Woman, the initial one was a big hit, but that's about it. I don't think.
But really, when you start to because that's how she kind of got known, right? Wonder Woman,
Fast and Furious,
and then was it? Oh yeah, that's
she was in
right.
I know because I was at Universal when they were doing that and saw more of Met Gal than I ever wanted to.
That's right. I forgot about that. But really, though, Wonder Woman's what really set her apart, and then after that,
check out Snow White. The rating, it's down to 1.6.
It's down to 1.6. Well, the other part too is you want to see the male perspective of this. That's Henry Cavill. Like the best movie he's ever financially that he's ever been in was Man of Steel.
Yeah,
and maybe the Mission Impossible Fallout.
But the difference is he can act.
Shut up, John. No, I beg to differ. He go ahead, Script.
He can hide his British accent quite effectively, but he's missing something. Like he's got the physicality that women adore and that men respect, but he's missing something. And I don't know if that's really his acting ability or the fact that he hasn't been in a role that has allowed him to really show what he can do, because even in that crazy Guy Ritchie film where he's a lead, nobody remembers. I mean, I don't remember the title even though it was long, but nobody even remembers.
Man from Uncle.
The Man from
Uncle. Oh, that's him and Armie Hammer. And
okay. That was Guy Ritchie too.
That was Guy Ritchie too. But the more recent one, which is a World War II one, had Alan Richardson and a whole bunch of other.
Yeah, I watched it. The League of Extraordinary. No, the League of
Ungentlemanly Warfare or something of that nature.
Warfare. Yeah, that's right.
Nobody showed up for that. And I know he has a very vibrant fan base, as does Gal Gadot, but I don't think it's at the required amount to actually pay off at the box office.
Here's I think with both of them, their model in appearance. Like they are very good looking, attractive people, but they're missing a component that keeps them from becoming great actors. Like they're definitely better than most models at acting. Mm-hmm. A lot of models, they just don't have it. But the more it was The Man from Uncle when people were saying, and Nina, you recommended it to me too, that you need to watch this because Henry Cavill, like he'd be great as James Bond. And it's like, yeah, he's got the look, but in that movie, there was nothing that convinced me whatsoever that this guy could pull off Bond. And I think part of it.
Why?
Yes, because he just does not have the suave to do it. If you look at the way his body moves in that film, and he's supposed to be this, like, again, for people, if you want to use like a movie to try to tell me that he's James Bond, that movie is not it for anybody that has actually watched James Bond films. Like, he did not command the screen. He didn't have it at any point. Now, maybe I came in there a little bit biased, but there's a reason why Henry Cavill is not a bigger actor.
Yeah, he's 42, and his popularity is pretty much on Instagram more so than it is at a red carpet.
How dare all of you?
Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I like Henry Cavill. I think he's a cool guy. I think he's a great guy. But if I'm just objectively judging him based off of his ability to actually act, there is a reason why he has not blown up the way that you would think he should.
You know who he should play? The Phantom.
I'm right.
The Phantom.
I know. I'm right.
Yeah.
I think you're wrong.
No, even Man of Steel. You look at Man of Steel, and it's a very tailored fit film for him. There's a lot of physicality to it. He does a lot of shouting and screaming, and he does it very well. But in terms of like, there's at no point where he really needs to deliver that moment and that killer performance. You know, there's just something that is, like Script said, like there's just something, and it's difficult to put your finger on it. But I think he is like a model, and he's a better actor than most models, but he is missing a component there.
Russell Hall for 2, and I don't think I've ever agreed more with Russell Hall on anything. Says Henry played Geralt of Rivia very well. He nailed that role.
Yeah, and that's a role I haven't seen The Witcher, but that seems like a role that is fit for him in terms of physicality. It definitely is a role that demands somebody to have a certain physicality.
But also
he only played the character for one season though, because that wasn't Geralt after season 1.
The second season, not so much. See, this is why I think the same thing about Man of Steel, because I think Man of Steel was a terrible fucking movie. Like, I don't think it did him justice as an actor. Like what you're saying, Script Doctor, like to your point of ever having to actually flex those acting muscles. Like, Snyder sucks, and so did Man of Steel. Like, that whole movie was shit. So
to say the whole movie is shit
it's terrible. It's a terrible movie.
It's not terrible.
And you know what? Who else backed me up on this? Fucking Ben Affleck, who's out here basically shitting on Snyder. Like, did you see that new fucking article the other day?
Now, Batman v Superman is a terrible movie.
That too.
Yes.
We could say that, but Christopher Nolan, definitely had a little bit of a hand in Man of Steel, his production company at least. And
he sabotaged it because he did. Again, Christopher Nolan has this huge ego, and he did not want to. If Man of Steel became that $1 billion hit, he would have been dragged in to help produce and shepherd the rest of those films instead of being able to work on the movies he wanted. So what he and David Goyer did is they, instead of having the initial ending where Superman saves the day by putting everybody into the Phantom Zone, they said, no, Zod has to escape from that, and then the two have to destroy Metropolis. And that was one of the biggest turning points in the film, where I even was overhearing people in the audience that I was watching it with. They're like, this is ridiculous. Why is a guy who's lived on this planet for 30 years so reckless with the city? Because it was just tons of debates where people were not even watching the movie anymore. They're just talking about how ridiculous this was. And then one of our friends of the channel, Tom Connors, he was dating a woman at the time, and they brought their kid, like 8 years old, to see Superman, and the kid got terrified by it. And that's a really bad sign. And there's other stories of this. Even Affleck is talking about how he couldn't take his kids to these movies because they got scared. And that's the biggest part of the problem, is that a kid should never feel scared going to see a superhero adventure film.
Exactly.
If you're 8 years old, though, and get scared from a Superman movie, you're a pussy.
Unless it's not really a Superman movie. Like, I was 8 and I saw Jurassic Park, and that was awesome for me. But like, even my mom's psychology professor was saying, I wouldn't recommend having 8-year-old kids go see this. And she's like, no. 8-year-old kids love dinosaurs, even if they're eating people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man.
It's when you get into like, emotionally dark territory, which Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and all those other things did. That's what hits the kids at the core because they're very receptive to that.
Yeah,
I
because
watched Jaws when I was 8, and I grew up on an island.
Oh yeah, Jaws was
oh
awesome.
my God, that's terrifying. But look, if Cavill was gonna star in Gunn's version of Superman, it would have done a lot better. I'm telling you right now.
Probably, yeah.
It's that family aspect. It's that hopeful aspect. That's a bright Superman aspect that was missing for Cavill. Cavill was.
I still think he pulled it off. I think he pulled that off very well.
But not as much. That's why it didn't make as much money, because it was dark. Nobody wanted to take their kids to it. That's the whole point. You guys are talking about how much money it makes or how much it was a box office draw. Well, the reason he wasn't is because of what Ben Affleck is talking about here. No one's going to want to go see this emotionally inept movie where the guy's dad is telling him to fucking let a school bus full of kids drown. Like, he's not gonna. It's not gonna do well.
It's even darker than that because the mother of one of those kids was upset that her kid survived.
Exactly.
She's blaming Clark for saving him.
Like, what the fuck? Like, what are we talking about here? That's why I'm like, he's had a really shitty go of it for a long time with people who are trying to put him. Now, your argument, John, about him not like sucking in Man of Uncle, I don't know. Like, we must have watched different movies because I really liked him in that. I thought he was great.
I think women are going to be a little bit more. I think Armie Hammer might have been a better actor in that film than he was.
I actually agree with you on that. I think
Cavill's performance is, but again, I've never seen the original show, but it just felt very. The illusion was never broken for me, like
right. Yeah,
but again, I was viewing it with a little bit more of a critical eye, but I do go into movies generally a little bit like that, but I'm just trying to see him. I was trying to see him as Bond. And it's like, I think, as I've said before, I think the other problem is he's already played. And I think Gal Gadot's other problem, the problem that she's kind of experiencing a little bit is she has played this staple character, Wonder Woman. He's played Superman. These very iconic figures that are psychologically tied in people's, like it's in people's mind.
Psyche.
They're the modern pop cultural myths. I mean, they're really gravitate. Yeah.
Here's the thing: if Henry Cavill never played Superman and he was an unknown and he got cast as Bond, I think he could make his own way as Bond. But I think that's just another element where it's like, I just don't think he necessarily works.
That's interesting. I also I because I'm a fan, I've watched him in other things too, like The Tudors. I thought he did great in The Tudors. I'm sure you haven't seen that, but he was really young in that. That was like when, he just was starting out. So it's not like he wasn't like the best actor, but he wasn't also the worst. I actually really like that series. Script Doctor, have you seen that series?
No, I heard it blew.
It was really good, and then it kind of like really went downhill. Like it started out really well, and it just went like I lost interest after season 4. I was just
have you guys seen him in a movie called Immortals?
I remember that.
Like a Greek mythology movie.
No,
Mickey Rourke is the villain, has a magic bow.
Yeah, it's a very cheap looking film.
Kind of after 300 came out, I think.
Yeah, kind of a little bit inspired by it, but it's fun, guilty pleasure movie.
Was he good?
You get to see him naked. You should watch it.
Okay, I'm sold. I'm watching it tonight. Like, have I not seen this already? There he is. Mind you, I've already seen him naked in The Tudors because he was naked in The Tudors as well. He's like Sydney Sweeney. He's not really shy about doing like nude scenes. Ian So Forth, thank you for the 25. It says 42 in British. Cast him right now, or someone else who meets that criteria. I think he means for Bond.
I mean, well, he's partnered with Amazon for a couple of projects, so there is a possibility that it could happen.
I hope so.
That's a good point.
It is a good point. Let me get.
I make those every once in a while.
Let me get these. Russell Halford too says, I for one am optimistic for Rachel's OnlyFans career. We were talking about that behind the scenes, which is why I was like, let's go live. because we all started talking about Rachel Zegler's career after this is going to probably be on OnlyFans.
What's her act?
I'm sure there's a hairy back kind of thing because she's never going to do anything barebacked.
Oh yeah, she's like got a hairy back apparently.
Yeah, she's a werewolf girl.
Well, she is like Colombian, isn't she? That's where she's like she's like half Colombian, half Dutch or whatever. So like I think a lot of Latina women have body hair.
A little hair. Yeah.
Like ask Anna, that Star Wars girl. She says all the time that she has to like shave her back. And she gets Peaches to shave her back for her. I mean, it's kind of a curse, really. It kind of sucks. I heard a lot of people do OnlyFans now, like especially like old actors. Like the girl from Sopranos is apparently doing OnlyFans.
Well, some of them are only doing like not nude or porn, but just like sexy layouts and things of that nature, like bikini bathing suits.
Well, that's what originally OnlyFans was supposed to be for. It was supposed to be for like celebrities who are like only sending their fans like, just it's like an OnlyFan profile so you can see me in my bikini shots or whatever.
Well, they also had there's stand-up comedians and then actors that do monologues or do like before Cameo became a thing, they did that for them as well. What's really funny is someone who I just reconnected with over the weekend. She's a stand-up comic. She did OnlyFans, but as a joke, she started doing OnlyFans. Her stand-up on OnlyFans topless, and I was like, "Really?" And she's like, "Yeah, I made tons of money between the clubs, but she always made more at the clubs than she would from the OnlyFans. So it was like passive income."
Damn.
And then I asked the question like, "Do you think they actually listen to your jokes, or they just put you on mute and watch?"
That's funny.
It'd be kind of funny to do an OnlyFans, but instead of like stripping down, like a woman just puts on more clothing.
Keeps putting on clothing.
Yeah, just puts on more layers till like you can't even see her.
Until you're like Joey when he like wore the whole remember that?
Or what about only hands?
Well, they have like only feet, but that's like it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that because one of the Harry Potter actresses just did that and was like, I'm just gonna do like feet fetish videos. So she's like, she's not doing nude, but she's doing like feet fetish stuff.
Sorry.
Yeah, she is. Oh no, it's terrible.
Like,
so yeah, I can see OnlyFans.
Play with your wands while I do whatever.
Oh God, I can see that happening for Rachel. That is terrible. It's just awful. Ian, thank you for the 25 again. Thank you so much. Says, no, I meant me. Cast me for Bond. Okay. How hard do I have to push this?
He's an unknown. That's already a plus.
True. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's true. Bezos has stopped replying to my emails. Oh no. I actually love that. I think if it wasn't gonna be Henry Cavill, it should be an unknown. I agree.
Well, it always has been for the most part. You know, I mean, like, Connery was
Daniel Craig wasn't.
Daniel Craig
was not a star. Like, nobody really knew who he was.
Yeah, he got Bond because of Layer Cake. Pierce Brosnan, I think, was probably the biggest TV star that became Bond because of Remington Steele.
Roger Moore
had the Saint behind him too. Yeah, so that's also.
Yeah.
But TV,
he was in
they
some
were TV
Robin Hood
actors.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He was also on Maverick.
That's right.
This cracked me up.
But when you think about worldwide, it's like Bronson, Remington Steele. That's Australian, right? Or
well, Brosnan's Irish.
Okay, yeah. So that's not even. So it's basically like not a whole lot of people, other than seeing him in Mrs. Doubtfire, really knew who Pierce Brosnan was.
Well, outside of the Remington Steele show, which
that's
is
true.
I mean, heck, even oddly enough, before after Sean Connery stopped and before they got George Lazenby, Adam West was almost going to be James Bond.
Wow,
that would have been weird.
That would have been
Burt
really
Reynolds
weird.
was in the running too, and he said Reynolds said no, Bond should be a British actor.
Yeah.
So
John, let me ask you,
jumped off.
Who do you think should be Bond? Like
I think
right now?
Because here's the thing: any star, I don't think it works.
Do you know one that you've seen in like some you know, some random thing and you're like, you know, that guy could be really good Bond. Like the way we were just talking about how like Brosnan was in something, or have you ever
No.
seen, or like not an A-list actor, but where you're like, this guy would be really great as Bond. Do you have an idea?
I can't think of anybody at the moment, but I really
I have
believe
one.
that it is.
Okay,
Who is it?
Steve. Who?
The guy who played Robb Stark on Game of Thrones.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Richard Madden.
He wouldn't be bad. He doesn't have as much. Yeah, he doesn't have that much. He's not as iconic as Henry Cavill.
No, definitely not.
Played like a role that iconic.
Yeah.
Robb
And he
Stark.
was out of the game
I'm
quite
still not sold
early.
on him. Yeah.
I'm not sold either. I don't know about Robb Stark. He's
I
got
don't
that
either.
curly hair like
Oh.
Henry Cavill. He looks too much like Henry Cavill for me to be like, no. Like look, he's got that curly hair. It's like, if we're gonna go curly and like
Well,
look,
that's wavy. Curly is more like, you know.
but if we're gonna go with this look,
Mhm.
we're gonna go for Henry, because he's hotter.
Yeah, but you can do stuff with his hair. I mean,
That's true.
flatten
But
it,
also, that's
you
the
know?
other thing that I was gonna say. So the difference between him and Gal is that, like you were saying, Script, he has the ability to hide his British accent, whereas in Gal just can't hide her accent. And I think that really affects her, and that a lot of
that was hilarious in the Wonder Woman movie because you saw her as a girl, and she had a posh English accent, but then when she grew up, she developed an Israeli accent for some reason, and nobody else around her had that accent. It's like, what the heck happened?
They did try to mimic it a little bit, but they're kind of like hedging it.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Russell Hall for 5 says, may the next time we view her tonsils be from the other end. Ew, Russell. Calm down.
Wow, that's deep.
Jesus
And
Christ.
far, yeah.
That's quite a mouthful, sir.
Mm-hmm.
No, I need 2 men on this. That's what she said. No time. But she did. No time. Guys, get on this.
Thanks again for this one, Russell, and I agree with you. And then Russell again said for $2, Army Hammer really sank his feet.
Wow.
Ouch. Oh no. Russell Hall for 2 says, I bet Rachel's butthole is the whitest part of her. Ew. Oh, I did not want that image, bro.
He really says what he means, doesn't he?
He really puts it out there.
That's
instead
the
of
butt of
Snow
the
White,
joke.
no White. Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
That's just, I did not want that image, Russell. Damn you. Thank you again for another $2 saying everyone has curly hair somewhere. Is that true? Because I mean, I have curly hair, so I can't comment on this. But people who have straight hair, is that true?
I don't know about Asian people.
Yeah, see, I don't think
No.
Asian people have curly hair.
I don't know if they do.
They
Anyway.
barely have body hair.
Exactly. I agree with that. They barely have any.
They have small penises too. The Asian guys.
Wow.
I
How
know this.
How do you know this?
Because Christy has a cousin who's half Asian and half African American, and his penis is mediocre sized because the Asian bit canceled out the African bit, so it just became a medium penis.
It's a large demographic.
I'm left
Tiger
without
Woods
speech.
situation there, I think.
I am left without speech, people. I missed you, Stieg. That's hilarious. Okay, let's talk about the next article, which is the AI. AI stuff. Script Doctor. Since John started the other one, you wanna take this one away?
Okay. AI. That's
The H&M one.
right. Okay. Yeah, here we go.
Russell Hall for 2. That was a pube joke. Genius says, I know it was Russell. Like, holy shit. We just didn't want to acknowledge your fucking gross ass. God. Especially after that ass bleach joke. God.
It was a ballsy joke, though.
It was a ballsy joke.
It's a little hairy.
Kind of below the belt, but still.
I love how like he wants to spell it out. It's like, yeah, we got it. Okay, it's all you, Script Doctor. Or do you want me to share my screen?
Yeah, my web browser doesn't like me to share stuff. Sorry.
Okay, hang on. No, that's fine.
But I can read.
Okay,
all right.
Go for it.
So, from Inc.com, clothing giant H&M will use models as AI-made digital twins, consent included. The apparel chain plans to use AI images digitally created from real people to showcase its clothes in an upcoming ad campaign.
That's crazy.
That cute top that looks so good in the H&M ad is a real piece of clothing. The model showing it off might not be. Fashion giant H&M is embracing AI's ability to create digital clones and putting them to use in a very open, frank new campaign that will feature digital avatars of real fashion models. H&M is working in partnership with models and their respective modeling agencies to craft digital twins of 30 models, businessoffashion.com reports. The resulting AI-generated imagery will be used in real ad campaigns this year in typical settings like social media or poster marketing efforts. Excuse me. The trick is that the
comment.
Sure,
yeah.
This will lead to models only have to model once when they're scanning their bodies, and then all other model gigs will actually be through AI.
That's right. They can actually start eating again after that one day.
Well, no. They can't because they have to still have that one scan.
Yeah, but after the scan, they can get back to eating.
Yeah, they can literally eat, 2 grapes for breakfast instead of 1.
But don't they have to get scanned again, like as they grow a little bit older? Because, like, you don't
want to know. Why would we have old models?
This is true.
Yeah. Why would we have?
You wouldn't. You're right. What am I talking about?
So gross.
Yeah, disgusting.
That's what causes impotency.
Old people.
What am I thinking?
Who wants to look at that?
Nobody.
Yeah.
You're right.
Old models who want to puke.
I know. Wait, I know who wants to look at it. Russell Hall, because he's fucking weird. Keep going.
Okay. The trick is that the clothes on offer will be worn by digital twins created by inputting multiple photos of the models taken from different angles and in different lighting into an AI tool that then generates the on-screen image. The AI model can be styled and posed to create content without the involvement of the original human and possibly without needing photographers, makeup artists, hairstylists, lighting and wardrobe experts, and other artisans typically needed at a photo shoot, which means there'll be a lot less sexual harassment too.
And a lot less jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah. The trade news outlet quotes H&M Louise Lundquist, a business development manager at the chain, who said that AI campaign will affect the way we produce content, though she added, I can't say exactly in what way.
The fashion, you know what? This is going to be, the LGBTQ is going to rage against this because if there's no makeup artists or hairdressers, right, needed, they'll be all out of a job.
Yeah, they'll have to open up salons. And nobody will pay their exorbitant prices.
What about photographers and stuff? I mean, everybody.
Everything.
Like, everything.
Robots will rule us. We're headed towards the Matrix.
Oh, they're taking over.
Not just that. Think about the stalkers. They don't have to sneak around in the bushes and photograph the models anymore. They can just get the AI model and
they can hack into the model, download a copy, and then do whatever they want with it.
Yeah, do like a.
That's technically a victimless crime.
Print out of them.
I guess if robots were made in a likeness, there would be royalties, I imagine. Like people could probably sell their image and then
I think that's what is happening here is that they're basically selling their image and then they're getting scanned, but you only get
just that.
I think you only get paid once though. You're not
going to that's it. You would just be like a one-time thing.
Yeah,
it'd be a license. So the best way to do it is to license out your image for X amount of years. for a product line, but you own the digital scan. Like the company has to scan you with their technology, but you own it afterwards.
Yes.
And then
I
you
imagine it's already competitive industry though.
Mhm.
So
What if you do it on OnlyFans? You just have the 3D model do stuff.
They do have that.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, they actually have
Oh.
like AI OnlyFans, and they make a shit ton of money. But then people get mad when they find out that they're like AI. They're like, I thought I was talking to a real person.
No, they were too reasonable. That's the giveaway.
What would if you like make a gay AI, right? Would it be like the LGBT 1000
Yes.
or something?
Southern Eastern Kaiju says, I'm here for the thumbnail. Yeah, we're gonna get to that because that's also AI. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. So is this over? I think that this is it, right? That's basically what's going on.
Yes, I'm reading the article here. Yeah, it's basically they're creating a digital twin. So the digital twin being compensated for the usage rights of a digital twin. So basically it's about you get to own it. I would imagine that the company that did the scan would get a small percentage of every time that scan is used by another party. So possibly like a 90-10 split, similar to the current agents model that we have in the entertainment industry.
Wait, what does it say about Kamala Harris in there? The tech is transformational and controversial because it can be used for good, giving someone their voice back after they lost it through illness, but for evil, like contentious deepfake images of Kamala Harris. That's funny.
You know what else it's probably going to be used for? Scans of actors where they can even after the actor has died, the deep fake thing that
sell
they
their
did.
image.
Yeah, and that's what Galadorn's talking about here. He's like, I thought if you thought Carrie Fisher had issues about George owning her image in perpetuity, image is now. Imagine this now. This is so true.
They no longer, well, in the future they will no longer need the actors really, because you can also sample the voices now, right? So they could technically make 20 Indiana Jones movies with a deep fake Harrison Ford.
Yes. The only difference being is that the AI will never capture the strange improvisation that actors provide when they do a role. They can only scan and regurgitate what has been done. They cannot fabricate something new. So for instance, you get an actress like Meryl Streep, who every single one of her films, she does a vastly different type of performance that you can't really pinpoint to any other role. AI would never be able to bring that magic, which gives the advantage to the actor. But unfortunately, the actors had a terrible lawyer in negotiating their contract during the strike, to the point where there's not enough protections for the actor regarding this the instant they say okay to being scanned. So if they get scanned because their stunt double is going to be covered by a digital layer, well, the studio has it. If you don't pay close enough attention to the contract, the studio would have it that they own that scan regardless of whether they employ you later or afterwards. So they could use your scan in the background to populate, say, digital extras instead of hiring a bunch of actors, or they could manipulate a performance that you gave using that digital scan with either a voice actor or someone to step in and be motion captured because they couldn't get you back for it.
Like a flashback scene or whatever.
Or a reshoot, but you're already, like, for instance, take going back to Henry Cavill. So if Warner Brothers scanned Henry Cavill at the time they were shooting Justice League, and then Henry grew his mustache to go do Mission Impossible, well, they wouldn't even need Henry Cavill to come back or shave his mustache or digitally replace that mustache when he came back, because they would have had the scan and the digital voice in there, and they would just throw an actor in the spot as a point of reference, and then use the AI to replace him. Cavill would technically, and any smart actor paying close attention to the contract, would technically have to be paid a rate equivalent to the time it took for first to shoot the motion capture version that he would be replaced with, and then of course the editing and integration process into the film. So that's one of the things that actors have to kind of, like, their contract is coming up for negotiation, I think, next year. So there might be another strike as they try to negotiate more ownership over the likeness rights for this that factor into this to a previous part. So, for instance, Carrie Fisher, her likeness right is only pertaining to Princess Leia. That's why we were able to see her in other movies afterwards. So, the thing that the studios were trying to do, especially Disney and for a very short time, Paramount, was trying to own the physical appearance of the actor at that point so that they could use them in perpetuity for anything. And then there's also the family estates. So people that are like 2 or 3 generations separated from a classical actor that have no reservations about selling that likeness so that they can have a cushy living and not have to get a real job for the time being.
You know, there's a lot of issues there because what if some of them, you know, Eva Green, I think, has a twin issue right there, you know, because it's not just her likeness. But I'm thinking this is moving scarily fast.
Yeah,
you know, this whole AI development, and I'm thinking the thing that pops into my head is Dr. Ian Malcolm in Jurassic Park saying, you know, just because you can doesn't mean you should, or whatever the line goes.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking that there is something to keep in mind because there's so many pitfalls with this.
That's exactly how I feel about Elon Musk and everything he does, and especially Neuralink. I'm like, just because you can doesn't mean you should. I don't believe in that at all because I'm against transhumanism first and foremost. I am against a lot of these things, and I'm a huge fan of Studio Ghibli, so this actually really creeped me out because it's so well done. It's so well done. It's kind of unbelievable. So apparently, OpenAI is now able to create images. Now, mind you, I went and tried to create some images after I saw this, and I was like,
OpenAI or Grok?
No, it's OpenAI.
Okay.
And then, but I put my, like, I gave it a prompt, and it started telling me like, oh, I can't do this because it's against my terms of service. It's against the rules. It's
You
against
got
the
the
rules.
meme
So
wrong here.
this one?
Yeah, he's supposed to be looking at the girl in the red dress, and he's not. He's now reacting to her.
Yeah, he's looking at her. But look, man, like the
close,
the styles is amazing. This this was so cute. I was like, this is hilarious. But then it started telling me like I can't do it, and I was telling it to like make Rachel like I was like make Rachel Zegler cry at Snow White, and it was like, oh, I can't do that because it's against my rules. And I was like, why is it against your rules? And I was like, oh, because I can't, like, it's against the rules to harass individuals or make likeness of them or like whatever. But this guy, I think, went in and did these before it got updated. So he was able to get a lot of these images that are based on other people. Here's another one. Like, how is this even real? OpenAI's cooked.
Well,
like,
not just that. As soon as you know something like Grok allows for the mockery of someone using their image, there's like endless potentially potential lawsuits right there.
Grok already does that. That's how I made my Snow White on the cover right now. Grok lets you, but OpenAI does not. Like, which I think is interesting. Oh, look how cute this is! I love that.
Is that like Legos? Like a Lego cat?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like a Lego cat. Same with this one. Elon Musk. Why is his finger
falling off?
Oh, and then this is like the Lego version of that thing. Oh my god. This one was really disturbing. Oh, this is here's like Mr. Beast. You can make thumbnails.
Oh,
pretty good.
He looks less creepy in that one than his real smile.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree. He is a creepy looking dude. This is hilarious. Because this guy made himself this guy.
Wow.
Wow. AI is just like it's next level.
Definitely gonna be putting people. Probably it already is putting
that's
people out of
pretty funny.
jobs.
This is hilarious.
I'm gonna have them do like a picture of me in blackface as me as Axel Foley.
Boom, 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 boom.
Axel
you
Foley
should
was
do-
my favorite hero when I was a kid.
You should do one and say you're trying out for the new T'Challa.
Oh yeah.
What is this? This is supposed to be print ads? I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't
Detox
get this.
burn. Okay.
Are
It's
they
like
done with
detox,
AI?
burn? Yeah, they're all done with AI. This is all done with AI. Look at these. They've turned this image into this.
Wow.
They race swapped them.
My
Yeah.
God, they did. It's kind of racist, isn't it?
And
Cancel it.
they turned it into noodles. No,
You go from
Uh,
okay, yeah.
Well, they go from
swapped the food.
well, you're still Asian. You know.
Yeah, but the food got replaced with rice. I don't know.
Rice or cereal or something.
Yeah, it's. I think he's eating ice cream, isn't he? Like that looks like Oreo ice cream to me.
Yeah, but then
I don't know what this guy's eating.
It's got chopsticks. No.
No, it's a spoon.
Spoons?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a spoon.
Yeah, it's pretty good though.
That's pretty good,
Pretty-
man. That's
pretty
pretty
incredible.
good. What is this? To-do lists, websites, and apps UI. That's interesting. This one was incredibly disturbing. Hold on, let me pull that up. Because people, I guess, before it stopped doing the rules, people were doing weird shit like this. That's
You'd
really
never wear a
disturbing.
dress.
That
They
is
decide-
so disturbing.
Side by side. That's pretty
They-
spot on.
makes you wonder where the cigar is.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no. There was like fucking Ben Affleck.
Oh, he looks more masculine there than the real one.
Oh my God, that's true. He kind of does. Love from Apple.
Steve Jobs.
This one is just really disturbing on every level because it's like
I mean, the
it's done
painting
in-
itself is disturbing.
Yeah.
The painting itself is disturbing, but this is extra disturbing because it's done in the Studio Ghibli style. So you're like
but they
this is
gave
for
Quentin
kids?
eyebrows. He doesn't have eyebrows.
He doesn't? I don't
No,
know.
Bill Clinton doesn't have eyebrows.
That's creepy. This is funny. I like that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Ghibli images, every other style of meme. That's funny.
That's a better one.
That's a good one. Yeah. Oh, here's this one. This is good.
That'd be great.
That's great. I actually love all of these. Whoa. Boobies.
Who is that? That's not a
Trump's
meme.
lawyer, I think.
Isn't that Trump's lawyer? Yeah.
Like it. Looks like it. Yeah.
No, it's Alina Hubba or whatever.
She
her name
definitely
is.
had work done.
Hubba.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah,
trouble.
those were not freebies.
No.
I actually can't stand this woman. I really dislike her. I think she's
I don't
awful.
really know enough about her to care. But who do you think has anybody married AI yet? Like that's
Like,
gonna
they married the iPhone
happen.
back then. Yeah.
at some point.
I don't
Some
think
guy
they've
killed himself
married. Yeah,
over
some
AI.
guy did end himself over one a while
Yeah.
ago.
He was in a relationship with Daenerys Targaryen AI.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
She dumped him.
That
Dang,
did happen.
brutal.
There's a lot of like AI girlfriend stuff, especially in Japan.
Hmm.
So I can see them marrying an AI soon because they already marry like pillows and stuff, don't they? Like waifu
Yeah.
pillows and stuff.
They've married pillows.
Yeah.
They've married iPhones and other smartphone technology.
They
One woman
married
married an
iPhones?
airplane. Yeah.
Someone
What
married
married
his
what?
cat, or maybe it was a lady.
I'd not heard about
You got
this.
people marrying themselves. That's a thing too.
She did that. Emma Watson.
Did she?
Yeah, she was like one of the first ones that was like, I'm marrying myself because men suck.
Have fun with that.
Oh, John, what did you think of the new casting for Snape?
For Snape?
Yeah.
Snape?
Yeah,
What is it, an
Snape from
acronym?
Harry Potter. Snape.
Oh, I don't care. I haven't even seen the Harry Potter movies. I haven't read the
Oh,
books.
so you don't care at all.
Little bit after my time growing up.
Oh,
Wait, these
that
are gifts?
reminds me. Nina,
Mm-hmm.
knock, knock.
I'm afraid to say it. Who's there?
You know,
You know who?
yes.
I'm
It's a Harry Potter
confused.
joke. You know who?
Oh my
Like,
God.
you know, Voldemort.
Like you who? Yeah. Oh my God. You know who? Now I get it. That one went over my head. Why is he white? This seems racist.
You know how it is over there.
That's
Well, Studio
true.
Ghibli, yeah, they don't animate black people, do they?
Well, they took Finn off the poster.
Well,
I don't-
China
well,
did
that
that.
was China. Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
China.
Well, we might as well just say it's across the board, right? I don't
Wow,
know.
that's really racist.
Well,
Wow.
while we're on racism, we might as well just go all the way here.
Wait, I didn't know that Anita Sarkeesian married herself. I did not know that.
Notice that it's always women marrying themselves.
Yeah,
Notice
but that's
that.
because most men are against marriage anyways. So they're not going to marry themselves either. They're just against marriage. Generally
love
speaking.
themselves. I wonder if is there a higher percentage of narcissism in women?
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ian so forth for 10 says,
Covert narcissists.
Okay.
well, we do like to look at ourselves in the mirror way more than men do. Ian so forth for 10 says, when you have to explain I think he said
Pube
joke on a Wednesday evening. Oh, it's no good. Russell Hall for 2 says, do they scan like everything? I'm sure.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
you have to get naked.
Everything, every inch, every
All
square
your
inch.
curly hair is
Well, they have this motion capture bodysuit that they'd have people wear, so that they get all the curves. They just might not get some of the grains. So they'd probably put you in like a bikini or something if you're a woman, and then what is it, a Speedo for a guy? Yeah, that's what they'd probably do.
You know what I would
Oh
do?
my God.
I would like put like at least a couple of rolled up socks in my underpants for the scan, just to be the most popular AI scan ever.
That's funny. This image is so funny. Oh my God. I hate that I like some of these. Like this one's pretty good, man. Oh my God. This is terrible. I hate it.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
That's awful.
Just feels wrong.
Hey, black
There
guy.
it is. There it is.
There's the first one.
I tried to do that one on Grok, just messing around. I'll share it.
Ooh, please do. If you came up with anything good. Look, Grok doesn't like me very much. Let me just say that because I haven't even shared like half the stuff it makes of me. I'm like, I'm never posting this online because it's just I'm never gonna do that. It makes horrible images of me. For the longest time, I thought I was Lizzo. And I was like, why do you think I'm Lizzo? Like I started talking to it and I was like, why do you think I'm Lizzo? I don't understand. Why can't I share this? Ugh, I hate StreamYard now.
I know they tweaked it. They messed with it.
They did.
Not quite. It's close, but it took me
close.
it took me a few different tries to even get there. So
It's a young Carl Weathers without the mustache.
yeah.
It kind of does look like him.
Yeah.
Oh, AI is so weird, guys. I can't get used to all of this AI shit is just so weird to me.
I don't like it.
I don't
either.
either. It's killing critical thinking.
It's killing creativity too.
Dude, there was
people
a
aren't going to
study.
have to draw. They're not going to have to learn how to paint. They're just going to be able to, whip things up.
There was a study done about that. That it said something like, a study says like you're using your brain less because of the AI, and I was like, you needed a study to tell you that?
I saw
It was study done with the AI.
Probably.
AI, give us the results.
I saw a bigger YouTuber claim he was an artist because he was good at getting the AI to do the art. He literally considered himself an artist, but that's like calling yourself a chef if you call the pizza place and tell them what to put on the pizza.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there I suppose there probably is like a certain bit of like if you can get exactly what you have in mind out of AI, because that seems a little bit tricky right now. Like even with just that I'm not even that far into it, but with Grok, like trying to get descriptive and
it's
I don't
really
know.
hard because only if you had a neural link could you actually take your thoughts and put them on a visual spectrum that would be accurate. Because even with AI, the trick with AI is that it kind of convinces you that what it generated is what you were looking for when it's actually not the case.
Yeah.
The interesting part is it's such a double-edged sword, right? Like, for example, I was doing some research about it, and like it can really be helpful of some stuff. Like I had this medical issue and I started like, I was like, I wonder about this thing, and I was like wondering, and it gives you more than Google can because it goes through like everything in Google and sees all of the website and studies and medical journals and all of it. And it kind of gives you like a synopsis based on everything it's seeing. And it's kind of in some ways, like it's actually kind of freaking amazing, the stuff that it can do. It's funny though, because at the end of like everything it would say, it would be like, I'm not a doctor. Like I'm giving you all this stuff, but I'm not a doctor. Make sure you ask like a doctor, an actual doctor. And I was like, I don't want to ask a real doctor. That's why I'm asking you.
You know what else Grok can do? If you tell Grok to, behave like Gollum and tell me why Red Dead Redemption 2 is a great game, Grok will behave like Gollum. And talk like Gollum.
I haven't done that.
Yeah, you can do it with anyone. That's well known.
Well, I guess that's kind of like what they do with the Japanese AI, like the AI girlfriends or whatever. They're like, you need to, act like this from this anime or whatever I like. And then they do, and they talk just like them. And like, I guess it's kind of really sad because people fall in love with that shit. It's like,
we're just going to get isolated. It's going to be like Her. That movie, Her.
It is.
Everybody just gets isolated.
It's so crazy, John, because you say that because I was talking to my husband about this the other day because again in Japan they have these things because their culture is so like what's the word I'm looking for, like singular, like they just like being that they're not very social people.
Yeah, they like isolation and privacy.
They like isolation. They're isolationists. So they have these things where it's like you can go to a restaurant or wherever and you can go sit in like a cubicle by yourself and like just be by yourself, like never talk to anyone. Now they have like places where you can order from AI. Like there's AI places that you order like your food from. So you never actually have to talk to a person. Like this stuff is actually happening in Japan as we speak. And it's kind of frightening.
I have a prediction.
Go ahead, please.
AI girlfriend wife thing combined with Siri or Alexa, but with the permission to order food for you and stuff like that. That's
so it's
gonna
like
happen.
It's like
you could automate it. You could even set. You could just
You could. That's true.
Definitely gonna happen.
Member for 42 months, deranged lunatic. Wow, that is like lunacy to be a member for 42 months. Thank you, DL. Good evening, everyone. Good stream so far. Thanks. Good, but not great, he says.
It's mediocre.
Not quite there yet.
Room for improvement.
Just wait till
Send
AI
me-
gets in here.
Yeah,
You know what
AI
he should-
Nina will take over soon.
You know what he should have said? That the
Mm.
stream is 75% great. And then all of us would be, shit, am I the 25 that
Darn
is
it.
fucking it up?
Gotta be me.
Damn. Now it's interesting that you guys brought up female narcissists because that's our next topic.
It was already our
Blake-
previous one, wasn't it?
That's true. It's been a
But,
topic for
yeah.
a while, like freaking Rachel Zegler also, right? But Blake Lively, I mean, we need to talk about her because there's been updates. I'm not going to go too much into the updates.
She was in a movie I really like called what is it, The Reef, or the one with the shark.
Oh, yeah, where
Open
she's on the
water?
buoy and she has to, they're hunting her. Sort
Yeah.
of thing, right?
I love that movie.
I've never seen that movie. What is it called?
The Shallows. That's
The
what
Shallows.
it's called.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shallows.
Ironically,
I've never
that-
even heard of
Ironically, that also describes her and her husband.
it. Was it like, so you're saying it was good? Have you seen it, Script
Yeah.
Doctor?
I saw it when it first came out. It's one of those. So came out around the time of those survival contained thrillers, like with the people that are stranded off a boat and they're stuck in the ocean and they can't do anything to get back on the boat because it's the one boat in the world that doesn't actually have a ladder built into the fuselage because that's standard now. But yeah, it's one of those types of things. Like you've trapped a person in a place with almost nothing. How do they get out? And you have to use a lot of imagination to make that story riveting. The movies and the premise are pretty dumb, but usually sometimes the acting and the stakes that are escalated tend to be pretty inventive.
It is. It absolutely is dumb, but it's really entertaining. It's kind of like, guilty pleasure kind of dumb.
Yeah, it definitely seems like one of those movies. I was just looking at the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find a good one to like pull up, but it definitely feels like one of those movies where it's like, there's a shark like on the cover. It's like, she's on a rope, like a paddle board, and there's a shark underneath the water, and like you're like, oh, is she gonna make it? The shark is coming after her. Hold on, let me pull up.
There's
the
a
other
seagull in it too.
Shark. It's an actual seagull. My God.
Yeah, she
Wait, where's
befriends
the
a
shark
seagull.
one? She's like Ariel.
No, the bird was gullible.
Look at, there's a shark.
Oh,
She's there. Oh no. Spoiler alert. Does she get eaten by a shark?
no.
Russell says it's terrible.
Kind of is, but
It looks
terribly
terrible.
entertaining. Terribly entertaining.
Well,
That's how I am with movies. It's like if we're gonna be bad, like you might as well just go all the
I
way.
like that. I
go
actually
halfway.
like terribly bad movies. Terribly bad movies are funny.
Yeah.
But
Go watch it and let me know what you thought.
I don't know if I have the time to watch it. I don't think I'm ever going to watch another Blake Lively movie again. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I hate her now and Ryan Reynolds. And this is the newest update. Like one of the newest updates is that Joe Rogan is Team Baldoni. So we're going to listen to this. Shout out to Stephanie for posting this. Here we go.
Real. That one's wild. That one's wild. You've been following the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively thing?
Bro, Lively, talk about ruining your reputation, and Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, they fucked up. Ryan's trying to get out of it now. Trying to get out of the lawsuit.
Oh, by the way, the funniest part about this is that they're watching like some sort of like UFC thing, and then they start talking about this.
I just say like this is exactly how you would anticipate a conversation about this whole thing going on a Joe Rogan podcast. Like this is exactly what Joe Rogan is like, just how he's saying it's like.
I'm just shocked of how many people are actually getting behind a male feminist. Like I've never seen it before in my life.
I'm just shocked at how many people care about this. Like
it's because they're
like,
psychos, guys. Like once you
don't
figure
know.
out that these people are fucking psychos, and you're like, you know what, that male feminist is a piece of shit, but damn, like he don't deserve that. Like listen to this. Listen to what Joe says. It's so good.
Dude, and they're like, you are a key part of this.
This is what you get, though. This is what you get. You're trying to fucking ruin a guy's livelihood by using the Me Too movement
because they
it's-
were trying to take over the movie.
Yeah,
They were trying to take over the movie and the whole franchise. He owned the franchise.
they're fucked.
Blake
The whole thing's crazy
Livelihood.
fucked.
And he's suing the New York Times, and he's got a great case
He's
there
going hard in
too.
the paint. But
He
that's
should.
what it takes.
That's what it takes.
It's like Johnny Depp.
Yeah,
He's like, all right,
yeah,
he did it for the boys.
exactly. You got to do it.
You need real motherfuckers to be like, nah, man, I ain't going out like this.
Yeah, especially a guy like that. It was like known as being like this really sweet, nice guy.
Yep.
And then it's like, all right,
Dude,
enough.
he posted the receipts.
Oh,
He's like, oh,
receipts are
remember our
crazy.
text exchange? Bah, bah,
How about she
bah,
told
bah.
him to, to come into the dressing room while she was breastfeeding,
The fun
and then
ass.
part of the complaint was that he came into the dressing room while I was breastfeeding. Like you literally have a text exchange back and forth. They just never thought that anybody was going to come out with the receipts.
Because no one's ever done it. Because everyone just
So
found
serious
out.
scared.
about
Yeah.
Because Ryan Reynolds A-list, Blake Lively A-list. Like, they're the queen.
Blake Lively's not
queen-
A-list.
Oh,
That's true. That's true. And see, did you hear that? He's like, oh, that guy just beat that guy. He's like, what? Oh,
oh,
yeah. In the other clip, he goes, what? Did we miss it? Because he's like so into this conversation about Blake Lively.
This is like the equivalent of women. Like if you saw women talking very seriously about some sports,
Yeah, like
just
football.
getting really into
While
it,
while
yeah.
watching a soap opera, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but it just goes to show though, if you look into this, seriously look into it for just more than a couple of minutes, you realize how, deeply fucked up Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively are. And it makes me happy that Joe Rogan's like talking about this because, he's got a big dude base. So they're going to be like, maybe they'll be like, oh, there's something about this. Maybe I should look into that.
I don't know if men should really be looking into that. That's a
No,
little, it's a
they
little
need to.
gossipy.
They need to. That
No,
No,
Nina,
would be-
no,
They need
to clip
no,
notes afterwards.
no. The last thing men need to be doing is wasting their time on bullshit. Okay, like men need to be getting their shit together. Okay, women,
That's
maybe
also
they
true.
can afford to spend all this exorbitant amount of time on gossip, celebrity gossip, and all this stuff, all this fluff. But nah, men, we like. At this point, with the way
You have
things are
houses
going,
to build?
we need to be working our asses off and getting our shit together, man. Like that's what we need to be doing.
Well, I just feel like, there was a lot more discussion happening when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp were in the news because I feel like this is very similar to that.
Algorithm, it's the latest thing, and that's fine. I understand. Look, I understand people going all in on it, especially on when it comes to YouTube and Twitter or X or whatever. Like, I get it. I understand. But like at the end of the day, it's out of our hands. There's nothing, even if I gave a shit about it, there's really nothing you can do about it. It's going to
No.
play out the way it's going to play out. The evidence is going to speak for itself. And,
Well,
you know,
there's nothing you can do, but there is also something you can do, which is kind of weird saying that, because what it does is when you find out somebody's that psycho, maybe you'll stop going to their movies and giving them money and time. That's the thing, right? Like that, it's done that for me, for Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Like, I'm like, I don't ever want to watch a Ryan Reynolds movie ever again. And I think that will hurt them in their pocket. Like, they've lost so much following and followers, and they should. That's why it's important, because these people are psychotic. And you have like a generation of young kids looking up to people like Ryan Reynolds when he's literally grooming his kid. Did you guys hear about that whole thing with like how he had his like 7-year-old kid in the Deadpool movie, and they fucking read like that line about him taking his dick out of Wolverine's mouth, like, for hours, for like what, 6 or 7 hours they had him do different takes of it when he didn't want to. I mean, that's kind of fucked up if you really think about it. These people are parents that are putting their, minor child in that position. It's fucked up. And then you start to really see what these people are for who they really are. And I think it should affect your.
But you have to understand, Nina,
perception
there's
of
not
them.
many strong, loving marriages in Hollywood. Like, these two
That's
are
also
lockstep with each other.
That is also
it's
true.
just Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's those.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Tom Hanks and his current wife are actually pretty tight.
they've been around, for quite some time.
For a long time. But at the same time, Tom Hanks is creepy, so I don't know. I can't. Tom Hanks has lost his allure for me. I'm just like, oh, I don't.
Hollywood
there's something
altogether
about
is
you.
Hollywood is kind of like it's in some ways it's not what it used to be, and it is.
I agree that
So the
I can.
fantasy has been broken down because social media has gotten you behind the curtain.
Yeah.
And there's a benefit to that, but it also comes with exposing the arrogance and the hypocrisy. I mean, the reason I can't equate the Blake Lively stuff to Amber Heard is because Blake Lively's motivations are for owning of a property, and she doesn't care with regards to what happens to Baldoni, where Amber Heard was trying to literally get Johnny Depp to completely lose everything for her and her only, for a vindictive thing. It wasn't even about her career. It wasn't even about possible children or anything. It was just she wanted everything that Johnny Depp had and was willing to go so far as to physically assault the man to get it. And
well, Blake Lively's doing that too. She just hasn't done the physical assault yet.
Well, all she wants is the "it ends with us" property. That's it. She doesn't want anything else.
No. Hang on, script doctor. It wasn't just about that, because once you're like, when you're a female in that world and you accuse a man of sexual harassment, you're basically taking their entire career and livelihood away. It doesn't matter what he does next. He is now blacklisted. He literally got, dropped from his talent agency. His entire life is ruined. That's why he decided to fight back. But that's the kind of power she had. And he was basically like, he was hospitalized over the stress. They basically wanted him to end himself. It ends with him. They wanted to end himself. Like that's how fucking dark these people are. They're crazy. They wanted him to it gets really deep. That's why I'm like, I don't know.
There, but she definitely used a sexual assault allegation, a Me Too allegation, but it's a very narrow want that she wanted out of this, as opposed to Amber Heard, which was complete and utter destroying. Like, you can survive a Me Too allegation. People have. Many have. The people that have not are few and far between, and that's a tragedy in and of itself. The other part too is that he was representative on the low tier of WME. They were most likely going to get rid of him anyways, because he was making most of his money from his podcast, which means that WME is not getting a cut of that. And I mean, literally, all he needed was one nudge. And I've seen CAA has done it many times with some celebrities that you've never heard of, who, as soon as they start making money on their own, the agency is like, all we need is just someone who else in the industry that doesn't like them to say they're doing this, and then we have justification to get rid of them. Because again, an agent is a representative of the person. They're not employing the person they represent. They are an employee of that person. And if that person is making money without them, they get very upset, but there's nothing they can do until there's some sort of third-party complaint about their talent, which gives them justification to get rid of someone who is not generating them money.
Speaking of Amber Heard, she has not had a project since 2023, and no upcoming ones, same as Zegler. So it could be that stuff is changing a bit in Hollywood.
I sure hope so.
Amber Heard's done. She's done.
That's why I want this. Project. That's why I want, more than anything, for this to go in front of a jury, because I believe that I think Justin is innocent, but I want him to get found innocent in the court of law and have that repercussion affect both the careers of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, especially Ryan Reynolds, who I think is a terrible person, just an awful individual.
If they destroyed his career knowingly, he should get compensation for the rest of his career from when he got destroyed.
Well, he's suing them for $400 million, so he is definitely going to get compensation if they get found guilty. I mean, I don't know how far his lawsuit with the New York Times is going to go. That one, it's a toss up, because the New York Times has it's a lot harder to go up against the Times, because they have that whole protection of journalism thing.
Well, there's the Fifth Estate, and also even the reporting has pretty limited editorialism to it. So that helps. The one lawsuit that's definitely going to go down pretty easily for Baldoni is against his publicist, who leaked certain stuff first that started this entire kerfuffle, essentially, or at least
Well, and he's suing her too.
that's
The
what I said.
Leslie
He's
Stone. Yeah.
suing her.
Yeah. I thought you were saying Blake is suing her. I was like, what?
No, because the fact of the matter is that the stuff that Blake was doing was kept private, and that's one of the aspects of their defense. Is like she was only sharing this within the industry itself. She wasn't trying to go public with it. The publicist made it public, which then put Blake Lively into the public square, and that escalated everything. Because truth be told, if this went according to Blake Lively's plan, Baldoni would just not be working on any big productions anymore. He'd still be back and doing his own stuff, and then there'd be this whisper network of, yeah, apparently he crossed the line with Blake Lively, but he's producing this movie, and it's independent. We want work, so we'll just not talk about it. Like was the outcome they were looking for here, but it then got escalated when a publicist
escalated really quickly.
This would be really good PR to expose this of my client, and it's now, instead of Justin Baldoni just losing the rights to the film, which was most likely going to be the end goal, he's now, his entire career is compromised. Well, I mean, whatever that you want to call that career being. This is the most famous he's ever been, and it's not because of that movie; it's because of the lawsuit as a result. Which just goes to show you that WME was not entirely wrong for dropping him, even though if it did come as a request of Ryan Reynolds, ethically not appropriate.
But he did, and Ari Emanuel pretty much admitted to that, which is going to go huge for Justin Baldoni, because he was like, yeah, they came to me, and I said, I'm on your side. That guy's gone.
Yeah, but again, because he's not employed by WME, technically he employs WME. A person can quit, and that's what they did.
What do you mean?
When you sign with an agent, they work for you, which means that you can fire them and you can walk away, and they can choose to quit without any fault. Doesn't matter. Because
you're saying like Justin Baldoni, like or WME works, or I mean, Justin Baldoni employed WME is what you're saying?
That's how an agency works, because they get paid when you get paid, and they only get paid a percentage of what you get paid. They help you find work as an employee of your brand, or you as an actor, as a representative. Their entire goal is to help you find work, secure those contracts, and then they get a percentage of that, usually 10%. And they can drop you for whatever reason they want, because they are not your boss. They're not firing you. It doesn't work that way. That's why you hear actors saying, oh, they left this agency and they signed with another one. Well, how would they do that? Because don't they work for that agency? No, the agency works for them. That's the relationship.
But in this instance,
all basically what it is that WME said, we are no longer representing you, which means that you're a free agent, and our network of opportunities are no longer going to be explored on your behalf.
But also in this instance, it wasn't like he quit because he literally got fired because that guy said it.
No, you're misunderstanding. It's not Justin Baldoni that quit. It's WME that quit him.
Right. I see what you're saying.
That's how it works. And guess what? In the United States and in other parts of the Western world, an employee can quit any job they want without any reason, and it's completely legal. Even if they get a false reason, or even if they get told a lie, but they still have the choice to quit or not, and they can do it with under that information.
That's interesting. I didn't think of it like that. I wonder if the courts is going to think of it like that, because when he's suing for damages, and he's going to say, well, I lost my this because of this, because that guy went and said, yes, we quit you because of Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. That shows damages, doesn't it? I mean,
no, because they have to show a breach of contract that was financially beneficial to him. So if he was in the middle of negotiating something that WME secured, or maybe he secured and wanted WME to negotiate, and then they walked away from it, and if in the act of them walking away, they killed the entire process of it, instead of saying, no, you'll have to start working with Baldoni at this point. We're no longer part of it, and then whatever new representation he gets, we'll pick up the pace. That's fine. The fact of the matter is that, again, and a lot of people in Hollywood don't even know this, and even people outside don't know, which is why there's a lot of contention around it, is that whenever you sign with an agent or representative, they are always working for you. They can leave you on a drop of a hat if they so choose. The only reason they're making a contract with you is that they think that they can make money with you. And if for whatever reason, even if an actor recommends that this guy's a bad egg and they feel like they're not going to be able to make money off of him, they can walk away without any consequence because it is their business to make money off the clients they represent. And also, if the pattern shows that, hey, yeah, they've been working with this guy, they've been working for this guy for X amount of years, and they've only gotten a couple of jobs, which means that the effort put in to find work for him and secure those deals is actually causing more expense to the agency than what they're getting back. He is not worth it. They can drop him on that as well.
Wow. Very interesting. Fascinating. Let me get these super chats real quick. Russell Hall for 5 says The Shallows was dumb as hell. The Reef, on the other hand, was genuinely suspenseful and terrifying movie where the shark actually acted like a shark. I think I've heard of The Reef. I don't think I've ever seen it. Did I see it? Did you guys see it?
I like both of them.
No, I didn't watch The Reef.
I haven't seen either.
It's like an animated movie. Never mind.
I just want to see people get eaten by sharks and stuff.
What about piranhas? Are you a fan of those piranha movies?
The first of the new ones, Piranha 3D. I didn't like Piranha 3DD.
Double D.
The Double D.
Yeah,
you weren't a fan?
Yeah, that's what it's called. The sequel. It's got Hasselhoff in it. The first one's awesome.
Or I should say remaking. They're remaking fucking Anaconda. I was like, why?
No, it's a joke. It's a comedy about two guys remaking Anaconda.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Well, at least they put a spin on it.
There's a spin on it, at least. Yeah.
Anaconda's awesome.
I love Anaconda, the first movie.
I don't know what accent that is, but it's the best one I've ever heard.
What?
It's
John Voight does this.
Yeah.
That was one of J-Lo's first movies too. Might have been.
I was rooting for the snakes.
No.
I wanted them to squish J-Lo.
No, her first movie, wasn't that the one
U-Turn?
with Sean Penn where she got raped?
Maybe that was U-Turn.
Yeah, U-Turn. That's the one.
Oliver Stone.
Yeah.
Lesser known Oliver Stone flick, but yeah.
Yeah, and then she did Anaconda, and then she did The Cell, and I really like The Cell. I thought
The Cell was good.
Really good.
Visually incredible film.
Yeah, at the time, visually it was really, really well done.
Yeah.
And that guy he's so good.
She was not the good part of that movie though.
Yeah, no,
She was okay in it.
Yeah, she was okay, but the cinematography and the special effects were incredible.
Yeah, and the main actor was good too. Well, who was that guy that was in
Vince
it?
Vaughn?
I forget. Was it?
He was in it.
Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah, he was in it.
Yeah.
Played
It's been a
the cop, I
long
think.
time since I've seen that movie, man. Oh my god, yeah, Vince. No, it was Vincent D'Onofrio, the main guy.
Okay.
Was Vincent D'Onofrio, and
The
Vince
serial
Vaughn was
killer?
in it too. Yeah,
I
the
think,
serial killer too. What the serial killer dude was Vincent D'Onofrio, and he was great. in that movie.
He played Robert E. Howard in a biopic. The guy who wrote Conan back in the 1920s.
Oh, I didn't know
he
that.
did a 10 out of 10 in it. He nailed it.
Wow. He's just such a good actor. Like that guy is so good. Russell Hall for 5 says this whole show is about talking about pointless shit. Like Snow White and Blake Lively versus Soy Boy controversy. No one comes here to build a house.
No, I mean I agree with you. Like I'm just saying I think there's a healthy amount of doing something, and then I think there is an obsessive nature where people just get involved in other people's
I agree with you.
You know, and
I
it's
agree
just
with you.
like there's a point where it's like, okay, that's interesting, but okay,
Moving on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where I just basically the people that have been so obsessed about these things for me have done enough to the point where I don't care. It's like, okay, if this is a big social issue or problem or whatever, you guys got this.
Mm-hmm.
You guys got this. I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to
I totally
you are
feel you,
so
John.
involved in this. Like probably
No, I totally feel you, because sometimes you need that balance too, right? Like and the funny
you
part
need
is,
to focus
Russell,
on your own life, you know,
Yeah.
like again, and that's where it's like I think entertainment, all of these things should serve as a, like a something, an afterthought, or it's not like to get obsessed, to get obsessed about other people's lives and other things. It's one thing to talk about it and hang out on a show or to whatever, but it's just another thing where people seem to have like no, it's just, it becomes unhealthy. And then their own lives, like this is what happens, is that their own lives, and this can happen with politics too. You'll see this, you'll witness this in life, where people get overly involved in other people's business, whether that be politics, entertainment, or whatever, and their own life and their own house, their own kids, their own spouse, wife, they're slowly withering away and falling apart. And meanwhile, they're overly involved in issues that really are not that important and don't matter. They're not priorities.
Right.
So basically don't let public disturbances become your lifestyle.
Right. And it's the funny part about John too is that like he comes here to talk about this shit with me because I'm like, I want to hang out, so let's do it.
No, that's what. Yeah, it's more of like I just want to hang out. Nita and I are friends, and this is it's our time we get to hang out and talk about stuff. But like,
other than that, he's like focusing on his own life, and I'm like, coming out with me, talk about celebrities, and he's like, I guess, like, fine, like I'll sit here as you talk about Blake Lively and tell me about her.
I mean, teach their own, like teach their own. Like I understand, like. It's definitely more, I mean, I think celebrity gossip is a little bit more of it's a woman thing, but you get, I mean,
true, it is.
But if the story's captivating enough in some arena of men, they'll get involved in it.
Yeah, like Johnny Depp, that was crazy. Like a lot of dudes got involved in the Johnny Depp thing. I think it was just Amber Heard. People were just not down. Speaking of which. Stepped on a bee for $1.99. Says, leave my girl Blake alone. She's totally innocent. That's right. Amber Heard did come out to defend Blake. Russell Hall for 2 says, The Reef is the best shark movie next to Jaws. Wow. That's high praise. DL for $1.99 says, have you seen the death of Snow White movie trailer?
We're watching it in real life.
It would be ironic if you can stream that on Apple.
Yeah, that would be.
That would be funny. No, I haven't seen that.
That's good.
Snow White's public domain. Apple could make a version of it.
Let's quickly talk about this because we've been going for 2 hours and I don't know how long more I can go. But I did want to also quickly talk about this was big news today. The Marvel Avengers Doomsday cast, the MCU mainstays, and X-Men Fantastic 4 stars. Basically, I think long story short, it's safe to say everyone and their mom's coming back except for Chris
Evans and Elliot
Chris
Page.
Evans.
Is it coming back?
Wait, Elliot Page was in?
Yeah, because before he became
MCU?
Elliot, he was Ellen Page, and he was an X-Men.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I totally
It's
forgot.
ironic. He played an X-Men and now he's an X-Woman.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that one got me really good, Steve. That was funny.
Made that full transition to X-Man.
Yeah.
Man.
Now he's really an X-Men. X-Man. Wow. Okay.
A double X-Men, technically, because there's no Y.
Double X-Men. Yeah, that's right. So everyone's coming back, especially Robert Downey Jr. Who cares about the cast of the Thunderbolts? I guess that they're coming back. I think this is honestly, actually a really terrible thing that they did by saying that Fantastic Four stars were also going to come back, because that automatically tells you that the Fantastic Four is going to be in like some type of multiverse thing that's going to lead to this.
Well, it takes place in the 60s, doesn't it?
Well, Doctor Doom, I mean, is the Fantastic Four's villain, so I guess it's not.
Well,
I mean, they would kind of have to do it.
Yeah.
Also, remember when Pedro Pascal referred to everyone who voted for Trump as Yahtzees?
Yeah. I
That's
do.
that's
Disney
my
supported
bite.
that.
Yeah.
If people boycott the Snow White because of Zegler, they sure as heck have to boycott this one because of Pedro.
That's
Otherwise, they
true.
would be hypocritical.
Yeah.
I think they're only boycotting Snow White because of the whole Israeli thing mostly, and also Rachel Zegler's attitude generally was horrible. Pedro Pascal, listen, he toted the Disney's line. They don't like Trump, so it's okay for him to do that.
Mhm.
In fact,
Yeah.
even with the regards to the social media manager, the Trump hate was actually like the least part of it because it came into effect that they had to escalate security detail around Gal Gadot
Yeah.
for her stuff. So they don't care about the Trump politics aspect of it. Although I do think that people who are upset by what an actor, a very unmasculine kind of wimpy actor says about them should really not care, because I don't care what Pedro Pascal says. I've seen who he associates with. I see his life. He's got no clout at all to hurt my feelings. So
That guy's so gay.
Well, you know what though? Since he is now cast in the Fantastic Four and all that stuff, which proves what he said on social media didn't matter to Disney, that should give Gina Carano's lawsuit some ammo.
Yeah, speaking of
would
that, like,
think.
how is that going? Like, I mean, like, I
slow.
get lively updates about her lawsuit like literally every day, and that thing's been going on for a while. Have we heard anything about the Gina Carano lawsuit? Like,
No.
anybody?
I think they're still going into discovery because, again, her lawsuit is predicated on a wrongful termination, which is actually the weakest part of it. I think it's more into the fact that the request for the struggle section is actually more in violation of certain California laws. The other aspect too is because no one at Disney, I think in the discovery, they're still having trouble finding out who from Disney was the spokesperson that claimed that they're not working with Gina Carano anymore, which is also a big key part of that. And if there's no record of that, then that's going to really weaken her case because it's all predicated on the fact that there was a conspiracy to terminate, which is also a tricky thing for her to prove because even in Gina Carano's legal filings and Disney's legal filings, both parties admit that her contract ended once season 2 was completed. True. And therefore you can't be wrongfully terminated from something you never had. Like, if you could, I could then say I was wrongfully terminated as the writer to Avengers Doomsday. And someone will say, wait, were you actually hired for that? No, but Gina Carano wasn't hired for season 3 of Mandalorian, and she's suing for that. So I can do that too. And that's actually a big, but no, 100%, because I have also talked to Disney and I've talked to Marvel, and it doesn't matter. Because if
what about the whole how she was supposed to have a contract for like her own show?
She never provided that contract, and if she did, I'd be 100%. I mean, I am very much on her side because I think Disney should not be behaving that way. But if she provided that contract, this case would be moving a lot faster because
I don't think there was one. That's what I'm saying, because she claimed that it was basically like a handshake deal with Jon Favreau, and that
that's nothing then.
And he had claimed that he was going to make the show about her. Basically, like her evidence of that is like texts and emails. I don't think there was a contract.
But even if there's no contract, I imagine it doesn't matter, right?
Does not matter. Sadly, it does not matter.
I wish it did,
because I would be able to make a ton of money because I have a bunch of handshake deals from like a decade ago that have not gone anywhere.
George Lucas had a handshake deal about his sequels.
That's true.
But that also followed with the contract with Mark Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher. So that kind of factors into something else. Because if you have contract for one stipulation and you have a handshake deal of others, as long as there's a record of something with regards to that handshake deal in the contract, which I think was the case for Harrison Ford, Mark Hamill, and Carrie Fisher, you can then expand on that. But again, if there is a lawsuit on that contract, then you get into the weeds because now you have to go into the interpretation of that contract, what all the parties understood at that time, and then proof that what they understood at that time as well, which makes those cases go on forever because some people have different interpretations or say one thing and they have to find a way to verify it. And that's why contracts are really, really important in Hollywood.
That's really interesting because I mean maybe I'm wrong and she did have a preliminary contract, but
I would love to see
from what
that.
I recall, I remember her saying that it was just basically word of like his word that he had told
Discussions.
her, discussions and emails that this was going to happen, and then
Yeah,
all of a
'cause
sudden it wasn't.
like I have friends that actually like they had discussions with various studios for a distribution deal, and then they signed a contract with one of them, and now it's locked. And the other ones are now trying to bid for a better deal, but they haven't bid it yet. But at no point could either of those parties go to the courts and say, well, I was talking with these other 3 studios to have a contract for a distribution deal, and then I took this one, and now they're going to sue me for breach of contract. It's like, no, you can't do that because, again, talks are talks. Even if it's in text, whether it's in conversation, phone, even if it's voicemail messages exchanged for a telephone tag, until something is actually signed and negotiated and put down, it means nothing. And then on top of that, even the Disney projects that they announced, announcements are not necessarily indicative of a green light. That's the other part.
Yeah, we just talked about that earlier, like with Cleopatra
Yeah.
and Gal Gadot. Like, I mean, that was like green lit. What, like 3
Yeah.
years ago now? Like, it's been a while.
Since
And
Wonder Woman 2 was on streaming, and Patty Jenkins was apparently a part of that, and now
Patty
she's not
Jenkins?
anymore. Oh, is
No.
Patty Jenkins going to sue Gal Gadot because she's no longer part of that project? Like, there's possibly a contract there, which there's grounds for it, but no, that's not how Hollywood works. And then an entertainment judge, a judge that's familiar with entertainment law, would probably not go the way people want. But in truth, like, this lawsuit is not something that Gina Carano is going to win with regards to her claims. The lawsuit is going to be won with regards to how much of Disney's personal files are being put into the public square to see how it's run, how it's operated, because that is actually going to open up a whole bunch of great doors for the private investors and public investors of the company to demand reform and action at the company. And
They also,
I'm afraid to tell you that a lot of their bad practices go back to the days when Walt Disney was still alive. So
yeah, that's true.
they also removed the Cara Dune action figure from the shelves.
That's pretty crazy. It's crazy because Gina just shared. She just posted something on Instagram. She didn't even say anything. Yeah.
Ironically, she was saying exactly the same as the Auschwitz Memorial said.
I remember you tweeted that.
Yeah, and she got accused of anti-Semitism for agreeing with the Auschwitz Memorial. And if you look at the Disney employees now, there's full-blown anti-Semitism all over the place. So why aren't they getting fired for it?
Because, well, that their type of anti-Semitism doesn't appear to be crossing any lines or generating a whole blowback that Disney is facing. Like, that's one of the things in Disney's countersuit is that they don't dismiss that Gina Carano had the right to say it. What they dismiss is that it brought undue attention, negative impact to Disney. And now there's an argument saying that it was coordinated by Disney to self-sabotage. I don't know if that's going to be proved or not. But again, if any time, like, if a person of note who has enough of a following can actually stir an outrage, a studio that is working with them or has worked with them has every right to address that outrage that's coming their way in whatever way they best see fit for the security of the company.
Like in Rachel Zegler's case, they hired her that, like, social media
thing to protect one of the co-stars and also try and mitigate that damage. But that also came at the behest of one of their producers as well, who works with Disney but is not a Disney employee. So that's the other thing you have to remember, is that no one that we saw from the Disney side of the camp cared or put into action. The other part too is that there's a number of Disney employees that have almost no social media following that are definitely espousing such rhetoric, but because of their little impact online, Disney's not actually facing any consequences as a result of that.
Right.
So there's no reason for them to take action. It only means to take action when it comes onto the radar. So for instance, if Robert Downey Jr. went on social media and said something very anti-Semitic, Disney Marvel would have to address that right away, because that's Robert Downey Jr. and he's a bigger star than a lot of other people that work with those films. And it would actually probably come into the point where they'd say, hey, he violated a clause in his contract with regards to not disparaging Disney or disparaging a point that Disney does not support, and therefore he will no longer be coming in there. And guess what? Robert Downey Jr. would not have any grounds to sue him because he has a contract that has a stipulation of that. And a lot of those contracts, especially for a star at his level, completely have that, which is why Downey hasn't really gone out of his way to say anything stupid or controversial on such levels that have generated controversy. I mean, even when someone tries to bring up his days where he was a drug and alcohol abuser, he just gets up and walks away.
Yeah, he just laughs it off usually, or like walks away.
And the other, especially if they're trying to fish for like a new controversial story, but if they're trying to say like, hey, like if he goes on the Graham Norton show, Graham Norton has permission to ask him about those times because he's doing it to set up a comedic bit where they can kind of laugh at the fact that he was kind of in a rut, but he is much better of a human being today. Other journalists are going in there to say, like, are you ever tempted all the time? Do you ever like look at alcohol and just think I can get away with one sip? Like that's an inappropriate type of thing because you're kind of gaslighting him to, relapse. That type of stuff he doesn't take well, and he has every right to not take that well.
Yeah, and I agree. Now, to this movie though, like just like on the topic of just like this movie, this Avengers Doomsday. I mean, I'm so checked out of the MCU, like personally, because I don't care anymore. But what do you guys feel about this? I just feel like this is like a really desperate attempt to throw everything they have at the wall and see what sticks. Because honestly, I don't think they're other than Deadpool and Wolverine. I don't think any of their movies have been doing all that well, have they? I don't know. Have they done?
They've been hurt. They've been hurt on the pre-sale market. They can't get their $10 to $25 million a picture pre-sale from all the 50 markets.
Why is my mind going blank as to like the last movie that they just put out that didn't do that? Oh, Captain America. Captain America. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of like what was.
I was trying to think
how bad it was. Like,
and I watched it. I actually watched that
movie.
Seen
it? Oh man.
Yeah, I actually watched it, and I forgot. I completely forgot about it. But I will say Harrison Ford was actually good. I like Harrison Ford. He was
good in that. This one here is this is an ultimate comic book crossover, like what we saw in the late 80s, early 90s, where all the teams kind of come together.
Yeah.
It's
everyone and their mom.
Pretty much. I mean, in this case here, we have almost the entire cast of X-Men. We've got Fantastic Four. We've got the Thunderbolts. We got
Wait,
Sam's
is Spidey
Captain
there?
America.
Spider-Man's missing.
He'll probably be announced closer towards the release date. Especially if they're not getting the momentum.
Wait a minute. Didn't Cyclops die?
A lot of these X-Men characters have already died. They're being
Cyclops died in the X-Men movies. So what?
Yeah, they're bringing him back.
They're bringing them all back.
Yeah, but it's all like multiverse shit, man. They all coming back.
At the end of the Days of Future Past, all the X-Men were alive at the end of that movie, and X3 and all the ones in between did not happen again. So there's
Simu Liu is coming back.
Yeah,
I didn't see his movie. Did anybody here see Shang-Chi?
Yeah,
I watched about a half of it.
It had a ton of potential and it was terrible.
There was no cha-ching for Shang-Chi.
No, actually, it only performed a little bit better, I think, worldwide than the recent Captain America.
Yeah. Yeah, basically this whole ever since Endgame they have struggled, with the exception of Spider-Man
No Way Home.
Yeah, that did pretty well.
But
that's Spider-Man, and they were bringing back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Yeah. Like everybody was like,
it was all there.
My Spider-Man.
It's like Deadpool and Wolverine too. It's the same deal. Mm-hmm. Like, okay, you're bringing back the old with the new. You got
Yeah, they're pulling the same gimmick. However, the Spider-Man movie right after Endgame was not the No Way Home. It was the Mysterio one, and that actually grossed $1 billion. So
that's crazy.
And
that was the momentum of Endgame, though, too. I think where it was. That's how. Well, Captain Marvel did it had the momentum going into Endgame, and that's why that movie did $1 billion. That movie had no business doing $1 billion.
It didn't, but at the same time, Ant-Man was also in between that and had momentum going into Endgame and didn't make $1 billion.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, how did Marvels 2 do? Like the new Marvels.
Oh, it did
The
horrendous.
Marvels that did like 4 and change, but they cut like 30 minutes out that were apparently the ideologically driven stuff. So I mean, that was the first sign that Marvel was kind of learning what to do. And again, the ideological stuff is very few and far between in the most recent Captain America. So it seems like they're on the course to mitigate
They're course correcting
some
stuff.
of that. The Russos, however, I mean, I know a lot of people love their movie, The Winter Soldier. I think the story is well written, but the directing is fine. The cinematography, I think, is kind of mediocre because it's shot like procedural television. A lot of quick cuts. Like you'll never get a fight scene like you see between Jackie Chan and Rush Hour or Bruce Lee or Jet Li or Chow Yun-fat or anything, because those are wide shots or medium shots where you see multiple actions in that same shot. Where you take a look at that highway scene in Captain America, The Winter Soldier, you would have a seizure if all those cuts were reflected as just different light tones as opposed to just at different angles of the shot. And it's very jarring, and it's actually pretty poor. And when you take a look at the Russos when they're directing other stuff, especially when they have more story involvement in, their movies suck. And because they don't have Chris McGuire, because they don't have Chris McGuire and Steve McFeely writing these two new entries, and those are the two guys that wrote 9 projects at Marvel, one of which was Agent Carter, and then 8 feature films that were all successful. They're not, only one of them is coming back. I think it's Chris Marcus. That tells me that this is going to be a tough hill to climb for the MCU, because number one, the Russos are coming back. That's a stunt because, you know, they're betting on the Avengers movies that they directed to bring in that audience, because audiences, even to this day, have no clue what a director actually does and how little impact they have in the creation of the story. It's all about the execution for them. And if you don't look at who's creating the stuff going in, doesn't matter how great of a director you are, you're only going to get halfway to the decent quality of what you're expecting, because it's all top down when it comes to these feature films. So you have them essentially kind of putting their thumb on the scale, hoping that the Russos, with Robert Downey Jr., with one of the writers from the peak of Marvel coming in here, and then this entire cast of these new characters, all to try and convince and compel the audience to show up for this huge event that is completely unearned. Seems like it's not gonna, I mean, it's probably gonna cross that, it's probably gonna have $120 million opening weekend just for the spectacle of it. But if there's not the quality in the film, it probably would be lucky to cross $800 million. And
how much money are
I
they
think, no,
paying
I
this
think
whole
here's
cast?
the thing. I think this movie will clear $1 billion, but will it live up to the previous, to Endgame levels, to Infinity War levels?
If the twist I've been told by 2 different colleagues about Robert Downey Jr.'s Dr. Doom is true, and the way that they pay it off, then yeah, people are going to be blown away and love it and want to see.
So he's going to become Iron Man again somehow. God.
It's not a somehow. It's. I could spoil it right now, but I don't know.
He is Iron Man.
Yeah, but we don't know. We don't know if what he's going to say is going to come true, right?
So
like this is
I've heard this story from 2 different people who I've known for a while, and they both said the same thing, which is that the current Avengers, this new weaker team, faces a crisis that requires Iron Man's intelligence and Iron Man, and they don't have an Iron Man. So they use the multiverse technology to find an Iron Man, and they find Tony Stark. However, this is a Tony Stark who's been mind swapped with Dr. Doom, and Dr. Doom is pretending to be Tony Stark for the first little bit of the movie until it is revealed that he is actually Dr. Doom inside Tony Stark's body. And the way it is discovered that Tony Stark is really Doom inside comes from a couple other characters, like the murdering of Happy Hogan, and Peter Parker spider sense tingling every time he's around this Tony Stark, and putting together.
Oh, yay! So Spidey is gonna be in it. They need him, and it's Spidey.
I've heard that from 2 different sources. Part of me is hoping that's true, but another part of me hopes to be more surprised
Honestly, that sounds dumb, Script Doctor. That sounds really fucking stupid.
Well, I mean, it's
sorry,
about
it
tying in the
sounds fucking
multiverse
dumb.
is the fact that they want Iron Man and they end up getting a Doctor Doom in Iron Man's body, and that's how you get Robert Downey Jr. And then the question is, do they follow that up with Robert Downey with Iron Man, Tony Stark getting his body back, and then Doom going back into his own body, and then that's how you integrate the brand new MCU.
Doom.
And then also now that you get Iron Man resurrected and back, and then you get Doctor Doom as the big bad. I don't know. It's a really hard thing to pull off.
I love it. I love it. Negative 3,000.
Wait, what were you saying, Stieg?
Well, I was just trying to point out that the Winter Soldier, the reason why it feels different and why it's well loved, I think, is because it's actually a Bond movie.
Oh, very much so. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, it has a Bond villain, a Bond plot, and a Bond girl.
Speaking of Bond girl, I will say I did notice that Scarlett Johansson's missing from this list as well, and I think that she did say
so is Famke Janssen, because she looks like plastic now.
She was like, "Leave me the fuck alone! Like
Elizabeth
she's
Olsen
dead.
isn't coming back
Sacrificed herself. Just leave Black Widow alone. Like stop like saying she's gonna come back. She's not." And I don't know if she was like pushing a little too hard to say she's not coming back, like so that she can super surprise everybody. But I also think she's not coming back. I feel like she's over it. Now she's doing like Jurassic World or whatever the fuck
she's got another franchise she's in, so yeah, she's gonna be happy. Those franchises bring bigger paychecks than indies.
John, are you excited for the new ScarJo?
No.
Dino movie.
No, it doesn't. It didn't look. I feel like in some ways they showed a little bit too much, and it just was not really. But the thing of it is, I might go and still see it just because it's Jurassic Park.
It's got
part of the
dinos
franchise.
in it still.
Yeah, that's all. It's kind of like Stig said, where it's just like I just want to see sharks eat people. I want to see dinosaurs eat people.
You just want to see dinos. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I see it.
It's not going to live up to anywhere near the first one, but
well, I could tell you this though. Like, I mean, I don't know how well you can't compare it.
You
to
can.
The first, you can compare it to the Chris Pratt ones. Like, I wonder. Yeah. Because I mean, that's basically who she's replacing, right? She's replacing Chris Pratt, and I don't know. I mean, the Chris Pratt ones didn't do that well. I think I only saw the first one.
The first one I think was the best one out of all three,
and I didn't see the other two.
They get dumber.
Yeah.
Did like, but why is she replacing him though? Like, did they not like him anymore, or is his character dead? Did he get eaten by a dino?
No, it's just a new arc or new direction.
Oh, so like it's like a whole new story. Yeah, it's not like a continuation of that.
New trilogy of a trilogy, kind of.
Yeah, it's the third trilogy where they go back to the original island. But I don't know if it's the original island for the first movie or the original island that was from the second movie. Because Lost World was the island that predated the Jurassic Park world.
Script or Stieg or Nina, what would be your ideal thing if you had to reboot the Jurassic Park franchise after the Chris Pratt stuff? What do you do?
Oh, you know what I would do?
No.
I'd have the kids get eaten. I'd have the kids get eaten right away. R-rated, brutally, like legs flying and all kinds of stuff, because I'm sick of the kids surviving everything all the time.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you on that.
Eat the fucking kids. And any person who screams and gives away their position, shoot the person in the kneecap and use the person as bait for the dinos. Stuff like that. And then just have,
like an adult, like an actual adult movie.
Trick. Yeah. Because even this latest one, they've got a freaking kid in it again. And it's just like
they want.
They've already done it.
Yeah,
I get it.
But they don't want to PG up that shit because they don't want to suffer the Snyder effect, man. They want those kids in the theater, and they can't have kids be eaten by the dinos. That I kind of get that.
They have to do that, because then if kids in real life see that they can get ripped to shreds and their guts come out if they get bitten by an animal, they will be careful around dangerous animals for the rest of their lives. So scare the fuck out of them. Make them shit
I mean,
themselves
there's
in
a
the
there's
cinema,
a
literally.
point there, but I don't think they want
Make
to
them watch.
go.
Well, here's the thing about like look at a movie like The Dark Knight. You know, now that's a movie that was a very serious take on Batman. It's an adult film. Like that's not a Batman for kids. I don't
know.
Am I wrong with that? I mean, it seems
No,
like
you're
it's
right.
a much more mature take. So I think you can go a mature route and still make money and still have a PG-13 and not have to have a freaking kid in the movie. But
it's a monster
or you could go
movie.
the
It
opposite
should not.
way.
A monster movie should not be PG-13. You need to show people what the monster does.
I agree.
You can still show, you know, like even Jurassic Park Lost World. Yeah, that one where the two T-Rexes tear that one guy apart.
Yeah, more of that, but have him do it to the kids in front of the other kids.
You could go the opposite way and take a page out of the Land of the Lost book where the kid gets eaten, but then gets passed through the entire dinosaur and then comes out again at the end alive. And horribly
like a shit
frightened
kid.
by it. Yeah.
So, you know what? I actually really like this idea, the time travel to when they originally existed, or dinos in space. I like the time travel to when they originally existed because
that's cool.
Giant chickens.
Well, yeah, but I also think because they kind of trying to do something like that, like a little bit similar with that new Adam Driver movie. Yeah, with 65. But that movie sucked.
It did.
But I really liked like the idea of time travel. The idea was great. But if you could do that kind of thing and do it right, it would be a good movie.
Okay, so here's where I think they went wrong with that. And you guys throw in your 2 cents if you feel you know, I'm wrong. But I thought if they just had more characters on the freaking ship and it just wound up being more of, you know, they're getting picked off one by one and Adam Driver and the girl survive in the end. Kind of like an Alien movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like that would have made it much more. Yeah. That would have that would have made it more interesting. But the fact is, it was just him and the girl. And you kind of know that they're probably both going to make it out alive. It wasn't really, there wasn't too much suspense there. And there was nobody getting eaten.
Yeah. There wasn't enough stakes. You're right. Because they're like, okay, well, if either of them die, like in the middle of the movie, right? Like, obviously the other one's either going to die or like, there's no point to this movie. That's why there's there was no stakes. Right. Yeah. Because you're like, okay, well, the kid's not going to die, obviously, because he's going to like do everything for the kid to survive. And the dad's not going to die because, you know, the kid needs the dad to survive. So it's just like, I get what you're saying, John. And I agree. Like they did need like a cast of people to at least like get you somewhat invested in them surviving. Like
kind of like, you know, Pitch Black. That one did everything right.
I love that movie, man. Pitch Black was such a good movie. Just like everything about it, like just the way it was built, the build up, like all of the characters, like, you know, you love some of them, you hate some of them. You're like, I really fucking hate the aliens, you know? But I don't know. They don't make movies like that anymore.
Keith David has a knack for being in awesome things. He must have the best agent in Hollywood. I mean, The Thing, They Live, Pitch Black. He was in The Nice Guys, which is really underrated.
He was the voice of Goliath.
I love that movie, The Nice Guys. That's a good movie.
He keeps showing up in these awesome flicks. You know?
Yeah, I actually love that entire like trilogy or whatever it is. Like the Chronicles of Riddick was fucking great. Like I really liked
still yet to see any of those.
I really like the character. Like I like Riddick the character, so I liked his story. I mean, there was also a really good one that was animated. Like they did like the Riddick animated one, and that was really good. That was like almost better than the second movie. I was like,
wait, you have never seen Pitch Black, John?
No, I've never seen any of them. Yeah,
oh
but I know.
Man, you should
watch
the first one. You should watch Pitch Black at least. Like,
if you like Alien and Predator and stuff, you're gonna love it.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's a good movie.
It out.
It's basically kind of like what you're talking about. That's good. What about Script Doctor? What would you do for your Dino movie if you were gonna reboot this whole thing?
Kind of wouldn't want to do it at all. I mean,
give it a break.
The fact of the matter is that the Jurassic Park is really just a reinterpretation of Westworld, and Westworld was brilliant. Like the movie, not the show. The show is terrible. But yeah, it's really just, a theme park goes awry. That's the gimmick. And I think that's fine enough. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's already a zombie version of that where you go to a theme park where you get to see zombies and then they break out and start killing everybody. Would
you kill the kids?
Yeah.
No mercy.
Yeah, because it hasn't been done yet. So, you got to do it.
Kill the kids. I hope the ScarJo one kills the kids.
Kill the kid that you like. Make it even more painful for the audience.
Yeah, they should. They should do that. Like they should have a fat kid that everybody loves. He's just too slow. He's not gonna make it.
What if they just had a movie where everybody just winds up getting killed? Like none of them make it off the island. That'd be so brutal.
That'd be kind of like Hunger Games style, except for like in the Hunger Games you have like a one survivor, but most of them all die.
Have a fat kid in a wheelchair and a blind kid.
What the fuck? Now you're just being sadistic. The fat kid. You do need a fat kid.
Have them lost in the jungle when the T-Rex shows up.
What the fuck?
Mm-hmm. You're like, yeah, that'd be a good one. I like that.
Why not? DL, thank you for the $1.99.
And then the fat kid in the wheelchair gets eaten, and the blind kid stands there and goes, "But he was my eyes."
Oh, that's dark. Oh, thank you. The DL for $1.99. Thank you. The Death Snow White is R-rated movie. I'd never heard of it. White Girl Hoeing, thank you for the $1.99, says, did you see the Rust movie trailer? No, I have not seen the Rust movie trailer.
I wonder if it I'm not gonna go there.
Did you guys see the Alec Baldwin clip that was going around? Yes. Yeah.
When I'm talking, you're not talking.
But is that part of the reality show? Because they have a reality show.
I mean, that's what they were saying. Like some people were saying, like that's basically what it was. It was like for the reality show they were playing it up. But I don't know if that's true because it just seems like she just seems like that kind of person. Let me play it. So
given the age difference and the hot to crazy ratio, I think Alec's fine.
Wait, what?
It's kind of ironic that Rust has finished shooting.
So good for him.
And that's the history.
Hey, you're a winner.
Is this it? I think this is
it. This is it.
You're a winner.
Oh my God, when I'm talking, you're not talking. No, when I'm talking, you're not talking.
The theme of things, and Bruce and Arnold were all a big part of the first, so good for him.
And that's the History Channel. It's essential.
We're essential in Spanish.
Esencial. Okay.
They let me down.
Yeah. Oh my God, you're distracting me right now.
Sorry.
Like now you're just doing that. Why? Why are you distracting me?
I'm just capturing.
You're just distracting me. No, but oh my God, stop! You're annoying me. Stop! It's not cute. No
wonder he's shooting people.
So, I'm gonna walk out of this interview.
Yeah, this
Can
is
I
a
tell
play.
you from now on, unless it's history, don't take anything that this guy is going to say because he just invents it. Now, I think we're gonna see. We're gonna see how it feels to have.
You know what? I'm starting because the clip I saw was way shorter than this. Now I'm starting to think this is totally for the reality show.
Just kayfabe.
Yeah, this is kayfabe.
Yeah. That's the other clip was like he just like it was as if like he totally got humiliated by her. Now it's all
he just like walked away in the other clip too.
Yeah,
this is like the Keeping Up with the Kardashians, some of the Bruce Jenner stuff that happened back in the day when they would do the live interviews and he'd get embarrassed.
It's totally like that. I can't believe
I
used to watch
has a
that
temper.
Yeah.
Yeah, he shoots people.
If you had to deal, like if that was real and you had to deal with that, I don't know. Well, who knows, man? Who knows what goes on?
My God. John, what did you share with me in here?
Oh, it was Gina. Well, that was back when we were talking about Gina Carano. I don't even know if I fully shared it. Maybe I did, but oh no, that's a guy. He's
what is this?
Yeah, no, he got arrested for running into Teslas. Yeah, if you want to share that.
Oh, is that the fat guy? Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is he so fat?
Bro, he just yeah.
See, Jurassic Park, right there.
That's the guy. Yeah.
What the fuck?
We'll call him Neil.
What's on his back?
He's lucky he didn't go like face.
He looks like he has a tire pump.
He has a squeegee.
Is that a squeegee?
Oof.
No, that's a pump for his tires. And then he's got a stick, like a hockey stick.
Those tires are under duress.
They are.
They really are. I mean, wait, okay, so here's the thing though, John. Why is your country so crazy? Like, why are people burning down their own Teslas? I mean, that's kind of fucking insane.
Because we're giving into the Matrix, Nina. That's what this is Russell, this is what I'm talking about here. Okay, there is the insanity of people lost in lives outside themselves. We you know, and it's not a pretty picture. It gets destructive if you go far enough outside.
You know what? They used to do that in sports all the time, though. Like whenever, like somebody would trade go to another team or whatever, they would like burn their jerseys down and shit. Because
that guy has never done sports, though. Let's be fair.
Not that guy specifically, but I'm saying the mentality, right? Like it's like when you feel betrayed, you'll start burning shit down.
Yeah.
I think it's like the same thing in this case, but it's just on a much higher scale because you're spending a lot more money on a fucking car than a jersey. So
well, here's here's another theory is that maybe like people that have, they've got hatred going on inside. It's underneath the surface. And it's just like, what's the latest thing that I can transfer and blame my problems on or whatever? Who can I claim to be the villain or scapegoat? And now you've got,
I don't have to do anything to fix my life.
Yeah. Now you've got your own personal crusade, and instead of
it's like external target for internal bitterness.
I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm always right. You don't have to say it.
Well, on that note, we're going to actually end the show because I'm freaking exhausted. So thank you so much, you guys, for joining me tonight. Stieg, it was such a pleasure to see you again.
Yeah,
I would say
plug
really your channels, but...
It was really good to be on again. I haven't been on a stream like this for 3 years, maybe.
Wow.
And this was like, OG nostalgia thing, reunion.
Yeah,
it was a reunion. We're member berries.
We should play one of your videos for old memories. Pull up one of the top 5s.
I don't know where they are, but you can play the Indiana Jones one, and I'll tell you a story about that one. It's actually fun.
Where is it? Do you have the link?
No.
Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find it.
Do you remember the title?
While you talk,
I'm gonna put Stieg top 5 Indiana
It's one of the
Jones.
shorts because No, it's just an Indiana Jones thing.
Oh, it's not a top 5? I can't find it. You don't come up at all anymore. It's been far too long. Oh wait, it might be because I put Sting.
Yeah, I'll put it in the private.
Like
I found
like Sting has never done anything. You found one?
I found him.
Okay, share.
Hold on, I didn't find the video just yet. Exciting stuff
it's
here.
Probably
folks.
under shorts.
I'll search it on your channel.
Yeah, this is
No, okay, it's not there.
Yeah, because he said he's private everything. I can't find you at all.
Actually, you know what? I don't know if this is your channel. It's Stig Kenobi, right?
Yeah, you know what? I found his channel now. Steve Kenobi. I got it. Let's see. You have George Lucas, Disney, Star Wars, back pain. Oh, here's the Indiana Jones one. Okay, I got it. It's the doll, but this isn't a top 5 though. But we'll play it anyway. Here we go. That sounds like it's like 2024. It is.
What is this?
For Indiana Jones. He's like, only true fans will get this.
Teabagging.
He's being
Indiana
teabagged.
Jones.
Yeah.
And shat
You know
on.
what happened though?
And drowned.
Well,
I didn't get it.
I basically just used whatever I had. Whatever. No, there's no point in it. But I just used whatever I had in the apartment and just made something. But here's the thing. 2 days after I made that video, right? Steven Spielberg quit Indiana Jones 5.
What the fuck?
And
yeah, that did
and
it.
people started people started DMing me asking me if I had sources because of my video.
God,
like I was
hilarious.
like I got like 10 of them. Like, you want to come on my channel and talk about it, because you knew something, didn't you? And stuff like that. And I was like,
wait,
thinking,
why did you?
No, I didn't.
Why did you private your top 5s? Because those are really good. I'm confused.
Because I don't know. I just thought they were weird.
You are weird. You're the definition of weird. So weird is fine.
That's what they liked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did that Hulk thing too, where I said only true Marvel fans will get this or whatever. And I put a Hulk in a beer glass and poured water in. And some guy, right, kept commenting that he didn't get the reference. And then later on, like 2 months later, he comments he's rewatched all of the Marvel movies with the Hulk in to find the reference. And he was going on for 6 months. And I was like, shit, I'm not telling you that this was all bullshit. Because it's literally I just put Hulk in a glass and poured water on it. I mean, the comments are still there. You could probably find it. It's only true Marvel fans will understand this. It's kind of like the Indiana Jones one. But some guy kept,
I've rewatched and rewatched. I can't. Please, someone help.
Yeah, and I think he keeps commenting.
That's
it's that
so funny.
There he is again.
Oh my god.
It just
so
kept
funny.
going for 6 months or so. And I was like, I'm not telling him shit that this was all bullshit after all that. Because he's gonna, because I didn't, it was kind of just like a stupid troll thing, just to see if someone got fooled or something. But no, this one guy, he rewatched all of it. And I was like, shit.
That's hilarious. That's a good troll.
He's literally checking he's like watching every Hulk movie. He's going through every Hulk comic book. And
you found the one autistic fan. And you messed with them.
Well, Steve, I would tell you to plug your channel, but you don't really do YouTube anymore. So is there anything you want to plug before we go?
I never really did anyway. But go sub to Miss Morton Muses. She has a good channel. And
Teresa, which was in the
sometimes
chat.
I'm even on it.
And you also hang out with Mara Jade. Mara Jade is a great channel too. So check that out.
Yeah, we do a top 10 thing every month. Top 10 movies from a certain year, but it's like top 10 favorites, not the best. So lots of nostalgia and stuff. And we started with 1980. and I think not next week, but the week after, we're doing 1998. So that's 18 episodes. We've been doing it for 18 months.
Cool.
So,
that's awesome. So yeah, go check him out on Mara Jade's channel. And Script Doctor, thank you for being here tonight. Please tell everyone where they can find you and what you got coming up next.
Oh, sure. Well, it's always happy to be here. It works out with my schedule for now. So I do a weekly show on Saturdays called Scripts on Saturdays, where I review screenplays that are circulating around Hollywood that are not part of the big IPs. This week's script is actually a rather fascinating one. I hope it pays off. It's called Mom, and it's about when a deadly virus infects mothers and turns them against their offspring. A father must do whatever it takes to protect his daughter from her mom. So it's pro dad masculinity and anti crazy cat lady parent.
That's funny.
Wow. Sounds good.
All right. And what about you, John? What you got going on?
Yeah, I'll be putting on videos on the regular on John Talks too. So yeah, silly little short political videos. That's about it. Yeah. Thanks, Nina. Appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Anytime. I love hanging out with you. You know that. As for me, you guys can find me on Friday on this channel for my Good News show, which also has its own channel now. You can go and subscribe to Good News Infinite Hope. And I did make a full spoiler review of Snow White, which is on this channel right now. So if you are morbidly curious about how the hell it all went down, I have done that. You can also share that with your friends who are morbidly curious and don't really want to spend the money. So there you go. I did the work. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. Thank you, everybody, all of you guys in the chat for making this awesome, as you usually do. Special thanks to those of you who super chatted, became a member, gifted memberships, all the good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Later.
Bye.